this is a pen. Let's talk about pen for a bit. And I was like, got a thing over here. I just literally just talked shit for 5 minutes.
Well, I felt like this was pretty good content, so I just started the recording. So,
you bastard.
How you doing? Welcome back. It's been a while since you've been on. I don't know when you were last on. We'll find out.
I don't either. This is my third time. Is it my second or third time? I feel like it's my third.
Tech over to Hex DSL. Let me have a quick look. You're on a year ago.
I found a USB lead around my neck. I don't know why that's there. That's not even a bit I'm doing. I genuinely don't know where that came from.
I feel like it's your second time here. Probably.
Is it? I thought it was my third.
It might be.
It doesn't matter. I'm here now, fuckers.
Yeah, basically. Well, let the people know who you are in case they don't know.
Okay, so historically, you'll know me as HexDSL of HexDSL.com and of YouTube HexDSL. But in the last 18 months, I've been slowly transitioning away from doing Linux type videos because my own interests in life have moved in different places. And now I'm borderline just being a full-time writing channel on YouTube, right? But I have a unique perspective, especially for your audience, because I've gone from Linux full-on power nerd, right, to Windows for reasons which I'm happy to explain on the show, right? And I'm using Windows full-time now, right? And don't worry, I'm not saying it's better. It's not. But it's interesting because I don't hate Windows, right? And everyone I know in the Linux community who tries Windows like, it doesn't do this, that doesn't it? And I'm sitting there going, yeah, it does. Because we in the Linux community are always complaining when Windows users come across. They're like, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. We're going, just learn to use it properly. Well, the same the other way. There's so much shit they say. There's so much wrong shit. Like, so many Linux people say things about Windows, and you're like, that's just wrong. It's just not true. That was true 15 years ago. It's not true now. And Linux is still, for the record, still the superior operating system, right? I'm not here to bash Linux. Linux is still the better operating system, right? But for my needs, Windows is required at the moment.
Well, yeah, I saw this post on, I think it was I don't know, what was it? One of the Linux subreddits. It was this post about why the Linux terminal is so much better, and all of the reasons that they gave, like, you can control your system from the terminal, and it's like you can draw some windows, and it's like you can customize your system settings. Like, you can literally do your registry edits from the terminal. What are you talking about?
I fucking do. Just literally, that's how I do. Like, you can't back up Windows settings. Registry, export, save, done. It's like, what are you talking about?
I'll give you that PowerShell is a disgusting shell.
No, wait. Nobody on Windows uses PowerShell.
Fair enough.
They're just using Bash. Yeah. They're just using Bash.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, if you live in WSL, that's fine. Is that what is that? That Pepsi?
It's a cherry Pepsi
cherry.
Max, which I'm told weirdly, like Wing, who's the co-host of my own podcast, he lives in Ireland. He can't get this shit. And this is like heroin over here. This comes out of fucking taps in this country. And they can't get it over there. Zero sugar. I don't drink sugar, you see. It's got lots of other chemicals that aren't sugar, though. It's not good for you. But I would never, it's better for you than drinking, full fat Pepsi. There's no sugar, though, which is pretty good.
Pepsi.
I want my light Pepsi. Also, all right, before I forget as well, I know this is off topic, but you know why I'm late here? Right?
You're not late.
I just had a faulty coffee pod. Right? Okay. You know coffee pods, right? Okay.
Right.
You know these things, right? Yeah? They're little pod things that you put in a little machine and you turn a handle and coffee comes out, right?
Right.
I just had a faulty one. I was like, how does that even happen? I put it in the little machine. I closed the little tray. Now, I'm usually a tea drinker, but I drink coffee when I need waking up, after fucking work. You jumped me after my job to tell me to come here, right? So, I need to wake up, so I need some Pepsi and some coffee. Here's the coffee. By the way, here's my coffee. And I'm just burping as well because I'll be running around on Pepsi. That's not nice. Yeah. So I put one of these in the machine. I turned the little handle and it takes about 40 seconds. So I got time to empty my bin. I got time to make sure my mics are right, and then I go back over there. It's fucking water. I was like, so my brain's going, did you forget to put the coffee pod in, you big idiot? And I go, no, because I leave the old one. I take the old one out, I put it in the bin, I put the new one in, I close it. How do I miss a step? I do it a lot, right? So I stops it and I look at the water, and it's just very slightly brown water. And I get the coffee pot out, and I'm like, it's fucking empty. I've had an empty coffee pot. And like, there's nothing in it. It's just water. I'm like, how does that even fucking happen? Like, how they're mass produced? How does it even?
Okay, okay. As someone who works in a supermarket, I can tell you for a fact that sometimes things show up, and I don't understand how we get them. Like sometimes, so you get like a box of like 2-minute noodles, for example. Like not the cup noodles, but like in a big packet, right?
Yeah.
And they go in the box in a certain way. So like the front of the packet is like at the front of the box when you open it. Sometimes they're just all face backwards. And I don't know how. How did you manage that?
So yeah, so I work in a supermarket also. I work in HR at a distribution center, right? I'm not going to say which one because I get sacked. But over the years, I've seen some products that are just mad also. Like I've seen like a crate of beer where all the cans are empty. Like these things happen, right? But when you've got one faulty coffee fucking pod, you're like, how?
So I'm guessing like the rest of the box they came in is all fine. It's just that one.
Like I just changed it. This like I've got a cup of regular coffee. Look. Yeah. But like I just like anyway, and the time it took me to literally a couple of minutes, I was just looking, I'm just going, my brain couldn't function. I was like, I don't understand what's just happened. So I just felt like almost felt like I should keep the empty coffee pod to show people. What do you show people? Look, there's an empty coffee pod. Yeah, you've used it. No, it was empty before. It's not really a story worth telling, is it? Really?
Not really, no.
And also, when I got up and dashed across the room, I accidentally showed the fact that while I'm business at the top, I'm wearing Cookie Monster jogging bottoms in the bottom. So
it's fine.
Good job, me.
I think most of my viewers are audio listeners now. So if you just didn't say it, no one would have known.
Thank God. Well, in that case, I'm HexDSL. I'm devilishly handsome and dressed wonderfully. There you go. Unlike Brody, that looks like a rat is biting his chin and just hanging there.
Well, actually, I don't know. Can you see? Yeah, you should be able to see. Yeah, here we go. It's backwards for you, but my shirt says influencer.
It's not backwards for me. That's not how cameras work. It's flipped for you. It's the right way around for me.
Wait, is it?
That's how Discord works.
No, Discord's showing it flip for me.
Yeah, it's the right way around for me.
That's
how Discord works.
The display I'm seeing on Discord is backwards.
Yeah. No, they do that on purpose so that when you move your arm, it's the same arm and it's not mirrored. Right. They do that for you. Fine. If all cameras was flipped, we would have worked on that over the years, Brody.
I just assumed Discord's doing it in a really stupid way.
No, Discord's doing the way that all video call software does it.
Look, I don't. I have my camera. Like
it's 1 a.m. I know.
When I'm doing the podcast, I've got my my browser open so I can show you a website and all that fun stuff. I have that sitting over my camera. I never see my camera. I've no idea what's going on with it.
Is it even there?
That's a problem for you to deal with.
I'm just looking at a black screen right now. He's like, I think it's there. I don't know. Sorry, I've complete. This happened last time as well. I've come on. You've got like topics and stuff, and I'm just like, fucking swerve. We're out.
No, look.
Sorry.
I've said this to other people before. If I'm not talking, it means the podcast is going well. If you can derail us like any way you want us to go, that's fine. I'm good with that.
I mean, we're like 15 minutes in, and I've just wrecked it, so I'm doing well, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
The coffee, yeah. Anyway, the coffee thing baffled me, and then I was like, I need to calm down. So I was like, I'm here, Brody. And I took a mouthful of peanuts, and then he answers instantly. And I'm like, just chewing at him for like a good minute.
You're lucky I didn't
we
start
made weird eye contact.
Then.
I know. I literally was like, "Are we recording?" I was just like, "Yeah." So yeah, and I'm outed myself anyway. I might as well have just recorded it.
I've got a guy who does like timestamps for the podcasts. And he's going to hate this episode.
People! He's got people? Why don't I have people?
I don't know. Look, I don't know. I'm sure you can find people.
No, not going to make that joke. So Windows user HexDSL. Ask me anything. I'm here for questions.
Well, you know what? Since you're the Windows user HexDSL, what was the reason you actually decided to leave the whole Linux space?
Okay, so last time, see, that's the thing. I'm not left the Linux space as much as I use my Steam Deck
Diverged.
pretty much daily, right? And that's a Linux machine. I've got my other laptop, which is down there, which I use for like fixing stuff, and it's my work tool sort of thing. That's Linux as well. But the main machine I'm on right now, my actual desktop PC is actually under that blanket over there. The video list, the audio for the audio listeners. I'm pointing. A while back, I was doing, because as you know, last time I've sort of got I've sort of writing has become my primary pastime, right? I like to write novels that are now available at itch.io if anyone's interested, but you can find all about my novels if you're interested on HexDSL.com, right? Always shilling. And that's become my primary pastime. And as much as the Linux community will be wrong, in order to do full-time writing, there are only two applications that are viable to write a novel. And that is Microsoft Word or Scrivener. Those are the only two applications where you're going to write a novel in, right? Depending on what sort of person you are, depends on which tool you use. Both are equally as good in different ways.
What about LaTeX?
So this is I'll get back. You know what? I'll get back to this in a minute. I'm gonna circle back around to this. So if I want to write a novel, right, I'm gonna need a competent word processor, not a text editor. Word processor. Now, obviously I was in Linux, so I was like, I tried writing. I wrote one novel in Vim, which was there are problems with that. Let's just say that its spelling and grammar engine are from the 80s. I swear, it's like it's and people are gonna go, but you can install a plugin to get Grammar Tool.
The built-in does it have a built-in Grammar Tool? No, it's a built-in dictionary.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't have built-in, but you can add Grammar Tool, as in the. But it's not what you call like in Word. I just right click and go click. And in and when I'm in Vim, I have to be like run this command to run the Grammar Tool. It processes, go to the there's it's a lot more mental space to use to correct grammar. It's like almost like you do a chapter, then you go and correct the chapter, right? So it's a lot more work. But anyway, we'll come back to that. So I was like, because I'm in Linux, I wrote one in Vim, didn't like it. I thought I actually need an actual. The thing people tells me I've said it myself over the years. Unless you're writing a novel, you don't need a word processor. You need a text editor. If you're writing letters, maybe you need a basic word processor. I needed like a really competent word processor. So I did what we all do. I'll install LibreOffice, OpenOffice, whatever, They do not work. Is the short version. They work up to about 60,000. Most word processors are fine up until about 60,000 words, right?
Okay.
That's the point at which they just stop. Right? Not even straight away. You're writing, like, I'll open up a word. Say I've got a word I got a document 70,000 words, right? I'll open it. It'll be fine. I'll be typing, and as I'm typing, it's just going, oh shit, and it just slowly just dies, and it just stops working correctly. And at first you're like, what is happening? It's only text. But what you got to remember is the word processor's constantly scanning the entire document looking for spelling errors. If I zip back up up 2 paragraphs and change one word and zip back down, anything after that paragraph has got to be reanalyzed, right? And if I zip back up to the first page to change a character, or if I want to do a find and replace because I've decided to change a character's name, it was Lee. I have to do that on 70,000 words. Which the truth is, the open source solutions just wasn't very good at. They just did some weird shit, right? And I had the time I went over the edge was, and I'd saved the document. When I opened it again, it looked different. Not a lot different, but the indents was different. And when you're writing, you need to and again, there's probably writers in your audience, right? But you need to just open it up. Fucking right? Anything between you and writing is wasted creativity, right? Because if I'm in the mood to write, I open my word processor, I hit Control N, so I'm at the bottom, I just start typing, right? Anything that's not just typing into the hole stifles that creative urge, right? And with Vim, it was the constant mental cycles of this tool does this, I don't agree that this constant back and forth. But that's the thing, Vim is still the best text editor. But when you get to the point you need a word processor, I haven't found a Terminal 1 that does the job, genuinely, and I've looked, right? So I tried a few things. OpenOffice didn't work, so I was like, I use Google Docs, right? Google Docs, pretty good. No, Google Docs, pretty good, right?
Okay.
Pretty good, until you get to 20,000 words.
Right. Well,
And
my
then it's
experience
just
with Google Docs
dead.
is I used Google Docs years ago. My school was like, so when they first rolled it out to like education and stuff. Basically, they sent it out to schools to be beta testers. My school was one of the beta testers. It was fucking horrendous because I think they were running it on like, I don't know, a server they had sitting under like a couple of blankets or something. It was constantly disconnecting. It's a lot better nowadays. Yeah, it's probably running something like that.
That's it over there. Yeah.
Just on like some server sitting under a desk somewhere.
Yeah.
It was terrible back then. So I'm sort of jaded on Google Docs, but it's, you know, if it's functional for the most part, that's good.
It's usable up until 20,000.
Right.
Yeah, you get, and then it's janky, but doesn't die up until about 60. Then it just most it seems, in my experience, which is not that wide really, things start to misbehave at 60,000 words. That's the point where things they just don't cope with it. So then I tried Word Online, the Microsoft Office online thing, right? Yeah. Word Online copes better than any other tool I found, right? It's still not right. It's still weird, and it's not quite right. So I was like, and then I had this big thing where I switched to Scrivener, and Scrivener's a Windows-only application. It's like the Vim of pros, right? Basically.
What'd you say it was called? Scrivener?
Scrivener. Would you like me to post you a link into chat? Scrivener.
No, I found it. It's all good.
It's by Literature and Latte. Is the program? Is the
yes. I found the website. Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Scrivener it's a phenomenal piece of software. There's videos about it on my own channel. It is a wonderful. It's just brilliant, right?
Oh, it's on Windows and Mac OS. I see.
Exactly. Now you can. I did a video. I go working in Linux through Wine, right? But it was crashy. Not massively crashy, but when I on a Sunday when I do my writing session, that's 6 motherfucking hours. I'll be there, right?
Yeah.
And if it crashes twice, that's two times I could lose a whole chunk of work, right? Now, Scrivener's pretty good and there's a lot of saving, so I wasn't too worried. I tried it, and it just felt like the wrong tool. It just felt like you knew it was running through a compatibility layer. It just didn't feel right, yeah? And when you've got writing software, again, writing software responsiveness is as important as it is with the game, because when I start typing, I need to see the words up, because like you're writing, I'm looking at the screen, and I'm sort of half reading what I've just written as I'm thinking of the next line, and I kind of need that responsiveness that's just not there. So I ended up going, this is when I bought the laptop I'm talking to you right now on, right? So I ended up going, I'll use Windows on the laptop and I'll use Linux for everything else, right? But then when the thing I'm doing most with my computer is writing, I was just sitting here with my monitors, with my laptop open, just that didn't make any sense, you know?
Right.
And slowly, over the period of time, I've eventually, and again, Scrivener is phenomenal. I have nothing bad to say about Scrivener, apart from I realised that because I'm a tinkerer by nature, that's what I do. I should be tinkering with words, not with programs, right? Tooling should not be there. So I tried, because I picked up an Office 365 subscription because I wanted the terabyte of storage you get from OneDrive. Because even on Linux, it's fine. It's like 60. If you get an offer, you can pay 40 quid for a terabyte of storage for the year. So it's really cheap. So I was like, I installed Word locally on my laptop, and I was like, it never dies ever. Like, you can have hundreds of thousands of words. You can have like 500,000 words, and it doesn't give a shit. It's resource light. It works on my Android tablet that has a physical keyboard as well. Like, because of the way the integration works with OneDrive, it's just, I can just like be writing on my laptop, close it, walk into my bedroom, open up my tablet, and just carry on. And it's just there, right? And because it has built-in version control, it never loses anything either, because it just, every time it's saved, every like minute when it's saved, it just does a backup, because you've got a fucking terabyte who they don't give a shit, right? So you end up with like these and in Windows, you can just right click on the file and see all the history and just go restore to this point, right? So it's got very good version control you're not going to get without using Git, and that's got a layer of manualness. So yeah, I ended up just going, I'm just going to put Windows on my main machine. And it felt weird to say that, but I was like, the main thing I want to be doing is writing. The thing I love is Linux as a thing to do, but I'm trying to get this done. And one of the few fields where Linux isn't the dominant leader is writing, right? That's one of the few fields where the software is just not there, and the open source stuff's not as good. If I was into maths, if I was a mathematician, that would have been brilliant, because Linux is where we live. You know, if I was a scientist, it would have been Linux. If I was an aircraft controller, it would have been Linux. But writing is one of those places, and I think a lot of the creative fields Windows is better at. not because the operating system is better, but because the software is there, right? It's not the operating system.
You can make an exception for 3D modeling because of Blender.
Mm.
That's one
Nope,
area.
fair comment. Absolutely fair comment.
I think that's probably the one area you can say is equivalent across both. I can't think of anything else.
That's the problem is when I tell Linux users this, I get a lot of shit comments, right? If I make a video about this. But the reality is, if like Linux is better for every way you can measure, right? Apart from I'm trying to get a specific task done, and that task is better in Windows. Now people are going, when people say to me, "Oh, you shouldn't use Word because it's closed source." I'm working with documents. If Word becomes shit tomorrow, I'll go find something else and I just take my document with me because I've got, it's not like if you, again, the good example my friend Cannon Leafshade, who's Cannon Leafshade on YouTube as well, was talking about was if you're making a game in Unity, say, and you want to use Unity, it might take you 4 years to develop. So that's 4 years where you've got to hope Unity don't turn into advertising software or don't suddenly become something else. Yeah, and that's what happened with Unity. And all these people had all these programs in Unity and then go duplicate work to reproduce it in Unreal because of course they went to another proprietary software. And his argument is in that case, when you've got the project you're working on is so tied into the software, you should be using open source by default because if you have to change, you're fucked basically, right? But with me, in worst case scenario, I go Control A, Control C, I open up the new thing and I go Control V. Like portability of documents.
Your formatting, that's the one. But
yeah, but again, I've got pure text, and I use line when I'm drafting. I use line breaks as paragraph breaks. Yep. So for me, it's like who gives a shit? Like for me, at the moment, the tool that works best is Word. I hope that one day the tool that works best is something open source. I don't want to rely on online only software because we're in an energy crisis in the UK and probably the rest of the world as well, right? But there's something of an energy crisis in the UK where prices are going up, and there's talks in the media about perhaps we'll face rolling blackouts and stuff, right? I don't want to have to face a time when I've got a laptop with a battery and I've got a massive power bank and I'm ready to go and I can't use it because I don't have internet. You know what I mean? I'd rather keep all these things locally available. So if, as we approach the apocalypse, at least I've got somewhere to write. So I'm not comfortable with just using online solutions, which is one of the reasons things like dabble.app and stuff didn't work for me because that online component I need to know it's offline as well. So yeah, then I ended up just migrating to Windows. But because I came to Windows not resentfully, but I came to Windows with the mindset of, okay, this makes writing easier, which is the thing I love, right? Everything else is things I like and I enjoy, but the things I love is writing. That's what I want to do with my life. I want to do writing. So I came with it kind of with open arms because, like, you've solved the problem. Like, it's not like I've left Linux forever. And as I said, as I started using it on my laptop, I realized more and more that it's like running two operating systems, one for writing and one it didn't make sense. So it ended up on my main computer. And then as time's gone by, I've been like, I like just being able to pick up a laptop and leave. So I had put my actual computer over there. And I've got a laptop here on a stand. And I've got a monitor here. And I've got a wireless keyboard and mouse. And I've got an external GPU, which is a little box tied under my desk. And I come in, I plug in my external GPU, I test the power button, monitor fires up, I'm good to go, right? And then if I want to leave, I just turn off the GPU, unplug the cable, one cable, and just walk away. And it is absolutely fucking liberating, right? I did have to upgrade the laptop because, things. But it's liberating. It's beautiful to do that. And because if I want to play games, I've got a Steam Deck. So, and I do play games on my PC. I play Monster Hunter on PC. There's a lot of games I play on my PC, on my laptop, because I've got that eGPU and I've got a bigger screen and stuff, right? But like for anything else, I just got my Steam Deck. Most of my gaming nowadays is actually done on my Steam Deck. So, yeah. So I thankfully, because I came to Windows with kind of open arms and not resentfully, I spent a little bit of time figuring out the Windows ways of doing things. And that's when I started to realize a lot of things people say in Linux aren't really true. Like one of the big ones I hear is Windows gets more unstable with every release. I'm like, no, it doesn't. Like, no, it doesn't. Like, that's literal, not true.
You've not been, presumably not been paying attention to the recent stuff that's been happening in Linux space. I've been going hard on the Arch team about this because they have fucked up terribly, and they're like huffing some extreme copium about not having made a mistake here. So GRUB shipped an update. Or
Oh, I
GRUB
saw
released
your video. I saw you posted it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, okay.
But I saw it.
So GRUB released an update, basically forcing every single Arch Linux user running UEFI to rerun GRUB install and rerun GRUB make config. That's a problem. The Arch team isn't fixing it. Instead, what they're doing is having an update that tells you to fix it. Tells you to fix it manually. And upstream is like, hey, maybe we should fix it. Like, they realize like how big of a deal this was. Partially because I fucking called everybody out for it and the video popped off real hard. And now everybody's talking about it. And now there's like a guy from the Arch Linux maintainer team who's like, oh, this isn't actually a problem with Arch. This is a problem with the derivatives and their Pac-Man hooks. Like, no, it's happening on base Arch as well. Shut the fuck up. You are literally maintaining Arch. Don't pretend like you don't know how this operating system works. Like,
I have to ask though, is everyone not using system deboot? Like, is everyone just
okay?
System
So
deboot?
system deboot ships with Arch. The reason a lot of people don't use it is because a lot of people traditionally recommend GRUB. So you have a lot of people that still use GRUB,
That's fair.
and a lot of the install guides recommend GRUB, and there's a lot of people just use GRUB.
You grubby bastards.
But I have been hearing a lot of people think about switching over to system deboot. I did see one person who tweeted at me saying, "Oh, I'm a beginner at Linux, trying out Arch, which is bad combination." He's like, "Oh, with this problem, I'm now going to go back to Windows 11." Like, okay, well, I don't know why you came to Arch as your first distro. Yeah, that's like if you're gonna do
even before I left Linux, I'd come to the point that I was like, I just use Debian because Debian doesn't have this shit. Like, Debian tests so much; they're so slow moving. But like, you just like Debian. For me, in my mind, like Debian is like just the correct distro because it's just like everything is just like it's just so straightforward with Debian, and they don't make these kinds of fuck ups because they're old enough to know better. But yeah, system deboot's really good though. You have to manually configure it in a text file using them vims and them terminals. But like, it's very robust. Like systemd networking as well. Like I know there's a lot of hate for systemd, but all the stuff that systemd took over on my system, I was like, well, this is fine. Like this is fine. Like, no problems at all. It was fine. Yeah.
Well, system deboot wasn't even. It's not even a systemd tool. It's just Gummy Boot rebranded. That's all it is. But a lot of people think it now because it has the name system deboot. It's related to it, therefore it's bad. Just like, stop it. Stop.
Yeah, it is just like a text file, like, do this, go, and that's it. It's like, and if there's an update, you just edit, you just like got your file backed up. You just like, do this, go.
Yeah,
it's like it's hard to break system deboot in my
Arch
opinion,
makes it really easy because they like don't have the kernel version number in the kernel file name. They just have it called like Arch Linux kernel or whatever. Some distros will have like the version number, and that will break system deboot. But one thing I was going to mention before that site actually broke, I had the Scrivener site open. Now it's like not loading.
Yay! Broken.
I noticed that it has a perpetual license, which is quite nice, and I'm sure definitely it is much nicer than paying a monthly Microsoft fee.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I agree, right? So I don't want anyone thinking I'm disagreeing with that point, right? Like the Scrivener, you buy it once, but when they release an update, when you buy version 3, that's like literally down. No way, we've killed it. We're not even live, and we've killed the Scrivener website. I don't know what happened. What are the odds? Wow, that's impressive. I don't even know what happened there. Yeah, like, so if I buy Scrivener 3, I own Scrivener 3. When Scrivener 4 comes out, I have to pay again, right? So doesn't. Like, probably not, like you can argue whether that's good or bad or not, and I personally think for a small team where Scrivener's like a couple of people making it, right, and it is a great piece of software, it is reasonable for them to try and maintain long-term income, and to do that they have to maintain a high quality piece of software and increase the version number so that you don't feel like wasted money. So I think that's a reasonable way of pricing something, right? The problem is with the argument against Microsoft's method. And I agree in principle. The reality is I'm going to be paying for that storage anyway, right? So if it was £40 a year for storage, if it was £60 a year for storage and £60 a year for Word, I would pay both of those because I'm using both those things, right? So the fact it's £60 for the whole of Office and they give you a terabyte of storage, like, it's reasonable, and I don't think like you're getting more for your money there than you do off Dropbox, for instance. Right. So while it's not, and again, you're supposed to pay this yearly. That's why it's the same price as a game, basically. Like they're expecting people to pay it yearly, so they're not trying to tie you into a month by month payment like it's Amazon Prime or something, right? The expectation, the default way is to pay yearly, and it's the right amount of money where it's like I can pay £60 a year for my storage, or whatever it is. You know, like it's not tenable, and that terabyte of storage with unlimited transfer, it's kind of a nice deal, you know. And Dropbox is charging a little bit more than that, and like there's a few others that are a little bit cheaper. But I'm also getting that bonus of I've got Word, and if I ever need it, I've got Excel. If I ever need it, I've got all these other things. If I ever need them, I can just install. And it doesn't seem egregious. And with the storage, I think it's a pretty good deal. But if you don't, there's going to be people again because there always are. It's like I don't need the storage; it's over the top. Well, don't fucking buy it then. Like, that's your answer. Like, don't if ever you think something's unreasonable or too far, just don't fucking buy it. That's your choice. Like just do that. Go do something else. But if the people that think it's like if I as someone that thinks it's reasonable suddenly when the value is gone and I leave, that should tell you it's not worth it. You know, that should be your indicator where people that think it was worth it suddenly go, something's changed, it's not. Right. But at the moment, I'm happy to pay that for the version control alone. And, you know, in theory, it's not going to go up anytime particularly soon, not massively.
I think when it comes to just buying a a single version, it depends on the way you like what you consider valuable. Like, for example, George R.R. Martin uses a DOS word processor. Like, there's nothing wrong with sticking on WordStar 4.0. There's nothing wrong sticking with a single version if you feel really comfortable in that particular piece of software. And I can there are I can totally understand the benefit of wanting that storage as well, but I can also understand the benefit of you want to have a tool that you know is always going to be the same thing. And you're fully comfortable with it.
I totally agree that because there was a Word update recently which changed a very minor menu item, which made it so that I no longer could go tap, tap, tap. I had to go tap, 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 right?
Sure,
and I was like, and that's nonsense, right? But the fact I went, what the fuck is happening? Like, you know, because you don't get any warning, and like proprietary software does not tell you when they change shit. So yeah, I agree with you. Like I do. But for my I
think they both have their merits.
They broke what?
I think both approaches have their merits.
Oh yeah. Although I think they broke their merits, I was like, what are we fucking talking about? No, they do absolutely. And Scrivener is a phenomenal piece of software, right? But Word is very, very elegant. And then people in Linux are like, no, it's not. It's shit. Like it really is. Like trust me, I've written 200,000 words this year, right? And the minimum is 200,000 words I've written, this year. And in that time, I've learned to use Word properly, and I've learned where things are, and it's very elegant. And there are things I can go I want my document to look like this, so I can save that, and I can just highlight it all and go boom, and the document looks like that, right? There's a lot of things about Word that's really elegant, and the truth is, if you look at open source word processors, not editors, word processors, they're all following Word. None of them are no one is setting the standard. They're all just following Word's design and following Word's elegance, right? But Word is the one that's setting that gold standard. And it shouldn't be true. And it's annoying that it's true, but it is true. And this is the bit where the Linux community tend to cope a little bit. It's the fact is, you're playing catch up and you shouldn't be, and it's fucking shocking. But you've got a lot of coders, but no designers. You've got a lot of people that want to write. You might have a lot of people that want to use a word processor, but you've got no novelists. Go talk to Stephen King for about a week and then come back and see what changes you want to make. Because, that's the thing. If you're going to make an airplane, you're going to talk to a pilot, right? And I feel like a lot of the things in open source,
I reckon they have coders that want to make it's a good plan.
Nah, just a pilot. They know all. It's fine. They're fine. Fine. But you know what I mean, though? Even an engineer, though. An engineer wouldn't build an airplane. Yeah. It's fine. What do we need engineers for? We'll just rely on God. Fine. But yeah, it's
shape it like a bird. Fine.
You derailed me. How the fuck does that happen? Jesus Christ. Yeah, but it is a shame that we can't just get some really smart UI designers and some really people that really understand what a writer wants to go and make a piece of software. But the problem is with open source stuff is they'll go, it's the writer's word processor. No, there's no such thing. Just make a good word processor and everyone can use it. We haven't got to go, this is a tool for writers. Because guess what? If you open a word processor, you're a writer. So fuck off. Like, you know. And with Scrivener, they did that, but they did it properly because they had a writer as a coder. You had someone who could code and write. Like he writes novels and he writes software. So he made something that works for his writing method, which works, to be fair, it's a beautiful piece of software, but there's too much to tinker with and I just get distracted. And you know, I need to go to that just really nice hole to put words into, which is, you know, but I do when I switched Scrivener myself, because I went hard into Scrivener. When I suddenly started using Word, people was like, what's wrong with Scrivener? I was like, there's nothing, it's great, but it's me. I need to not be distracted.
With the I actually totally understand the issue you're having with the amount of words, because this happens not just in word processors but in code editors as well.
Oh yeah.
So I've worked on like 50,000 line code files, and Sublime older updates like Sublime Text, Atom when it wasn't dead, things like that would completely fall apart. They'd be like, this file's too big. I don't know what this is. I don't know what to do. Vim.
Yeah, that's because it's doing intelligent stuff. It's trying to tag it all up and stuff. But it's long and it's tagging all this stuff up. That's a lot of fucking work.
Yeah,
that's a lot of work.
That's why Vim can handle like a 300,000 line file, because it's doing fucking nothing.
Which is the genius of Vim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you are using a plugin, that plugin is its own little application that's running, and then if it crashes, the rest of Vim's fine, because that thing stopped working, but the rest of Vim's fine. Now, Vim's genius, but yeah, I agree, and I think that you probably have I've encountered the same thing with video editors. Like, I like Caden Live. Would I want to edit a 2-hour movie in it? No fucking way.
No, look,
no fucking way.
Look, if I'm gonna edit a movie on Linux, I'm just gonna, I don't know what would I use?
Blender.
Yeah.
If you're going to edit a movie on Linux, put Blender into video edit mode. Learn to fucking use it, because Blender is the best video editor. It's a lot of work to learn. The learning curve is like a roller coaster ride that goes backwards at the start, right? Like, but believe me, if you learn to edit video in Blender, you'll never need another video editor ever. Just because it's amazing. I mean, you know, the movie Frozen was edited in Blender. That should tell you something.
Was it?
They didn't just make the 3D. Yeah, they didn't just make the 3D. Like, well, fucking edit it. They didn't do all of it. They did a lot of sequences in it though. But yeah, like, when you look at things like Frozen that was made in Blender, and like they did like bunch of the VFX edited in there and stuff, you go like, why does Premiere exist? And the truth is, Premiere exists for that hobbyist level. It exists for that prosumer level. And then then as you go on, there's like YouTubers that are doing amazing stuff with it. But when you get to Hollywood, they're using different tool set, because they're on the next fucking level. You know, they're using a different tool set. I think it's Final Cut Pro actually, but my point is, like, you know, there are things that are right at different levels of things, and Vim is lovely. You know, Vim is a fine word processor alternative when you write the letter and you're using LaTeX or Markdown, right? And then you go, I want to write a short story, I want to write a short novella. OpenOffice, LibreOffice, they're all the open source things. They're fine. When you're writing a novel, you need software that's fucking designed to handle that shit.
I've not had I did read the I guess it's the law post you put onto your website about your second book.
You can't read the law post without reading the book. That'll make no fucking sense. That'll be nonsense.
I was reading through. I was interested. I'm gonna read the book now. The law post was interesting.
The law, like, if you haven't read the book, that just sounded like the ravings of a lunatic. I even wrote, even at the beginning of the post, I was like, read the fucking book first, guys.
Yeah, no, you're right. We got to the bit where there was spoiler warning. We got
also, I want to say, before you go any further, I write fiction, right? I write science fiction, urban fantasy. Everything he's about to say makes me sound like I'm mentally ill. I'm not, all right? Just carry on.
Well, look, with the space elves and the space vampires, I was like, okay, I can accept this. Then we got to like time loops. I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. Then we got to like combining different races together to make the super race that kills the other super race. And then they breed together. Like when the humans breed with the other races, they lose the immortality. Also, humans are immortal in this universe. Like, okay, what the fuck am I reading?
Well, all of that makes sense when I spend 300 pages in the original book.
I was going to ask you how long the book actually is.
Book's fine. Hold on, I got the book. Let me put it down.
Oh, and then we got to the end where it was like, golf does not exist in this universe. I'm like, okay,
Yeah, no, that was I'll do with okay. So the book itself, the book itself is a total of 327 pages, right?
Mm.
In print, right? If you read that, the law post is then supplementary material. You're not supposed to read it without reading the book because
Well, I would at least
it
read
makes no
something.
fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense if you do that. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. But I've forgotten my golf line.
I
Actually,
can't hear a fucking word you're saying, mate.
yeah, no, I do that a lot. Don't worry about it. The golf thing. Golf doesn't exist. There's loads of like weird, like one of the things when you write in science fiction, right? The thing that sells it is the stuff that doesn't matter, right? Like the famous one, the most famous example of this is in the TV show Babylon 5. You ever seen Babylon 5? You know of Babylon 5,
I've known
right?
Babylon.
Nerds love Babylon 5, right? There's this whole thing that every intelligent race independently invented Swedish meatballs, right? It doesn't matter, right? Fans fucking love that line. It's one line in the whole thing. And people have got Swedish meatball shirts and shit, right? Because when you're making science fiction, it's called iceberg theory, right? Like the writer shows you the tip of the iceberg, but the writer knows that the iceberg's under the water, right? Which means that when the writer's asked a question, they can reach down through the water and and there's a big old pack of shit there they can pull on, right? Like they just know all this shit, right? So when I wrote my law post, I know more than is in the law post, right? But I just thought it'd be fun to share some of that iceberg with people that read it. I don't want to use the word fans; that seems conceited. But the people who read the book and enjoyed it asked me for more stuff. They asked me questions. So I thought I'll write this law post that's just basically like this whole massive information dump. As basically like if you want the iceberg, you want the whole iceberg. There you go. There's like a big old chunk of the iceberg. If you really want to see what's under the surface, because the book is by design not written like that law post. The book is very much a narrative that follows characters.
Well, I hope
through
it's
their
not written like the
day-to-day
law
life.
post because you like jump around constantly.
Yeah, well,
the
but
mad
that's it.
race.
You can't. I mean, that's again. I wrote at the top of the law post. I was like, "Don't fucking read this. Like, don't read. This is not for humans, right?" But even I did. I wrote it at the top. I was like, "Don't read it. You shouldn't read this post." But yeah, that was like me sharing with the people because there are people that care about it. They fucking love this stuff, right? So things like when I say that, like in the final universe that's created, in the final iteration of reality that the goddess created, all makes sense. Don't worry, I'm not mentally ill, right? Don't believe it. This is fiction. Like in the version of the book, in the version of reality that the characters in the book are living in, golf doesn't exist. Like, and also neither does the country of France. Never existed. French never existed in this universe. There's no reason. It just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Right?
You are the
But
bane of the English teacher that will ask you why the curtains are red.
Oh, yeah, no, writer intent. Yeah, reading with writer, like I'm very much on the side of death of the author, right? Like ultimately, as an author, it's my job to. We're gonna go all writing nerd here. Sorry, listeners. I'm sorry. You're here for Linux. I'm going to write a nerd. I'm really sorry. I do this a lot. But like this idea that like when you go to school and they're like, what did the author mean when they say that? It doesn't matter, in my opinion. And there's two sides to this argument. I'm on the side of death of the author, right? It doesn't matter because when the author writes something, if they don't explain themselves, they're leaving that open for interpretation. If you fail to make your own interpretation, you're failing the author's intent. The author, if he wanted you to know why he made the curtains red, he would have fucking told you. He's literally spending hundreds of hours with thousands of words. If it was important, he would have mentioned it. And if he failed to mention, if someone like James Joyce is a good example, someone that writes in a way that's supposed to be interpreted, right? If you try and interpret it through the lens of the author, you're missing your own interpretation. The best analog for this, right, is in literature. When I write a novel, I am the director and I am the writer, but it's the reader who's the actor. It's the reader that's going to take the direction and the words and then they're going to put it in their brain, and their brain will tell them the story on the page. And if they choose to make someone taller than I made them, or they think one line has more gravitas than it did when I wrote it, that's them interpreting the book. And that's what I love, because I try my best not to be clear, because I try my best to get the essence of what I want. Well, I try my best to get the essence of what I want on the page. And then it's up to the reader to perform that, right? And the law post is literally just like, it's just a post of, it's no different to when you find a sword on the floor in Lord of the Rings Online or World of Warcraft, and it's got that little bit of text that tells the history of the sword. No one gives a shit, right? The only person that gives a shit about that are law nerds and the person that wrote it. And that law post I made It's for that audience. It's for those people
Right.
that read the text on the sword. It's for the people that read the book and go, I really want to know the history of everything. Well, I wrote the history of everything. I wrote a 8,000 word lore post, and that's like a little layer of what I actually have in my head for the next 4 books, but for the people that like it, they have liked it, and that post got a lot of traffic, and people seem to like it, which is good. And I've had a few emails where people have asked me questions based on the lore post, so I've got a follow up to write at some point. But yeah, it's weird being a writer though, because it's like no one should read that. That's a post for a very specific set of the audience that is not probably most of the people who read the book. And it's probably worked against me, because people are going to read that and go, I'm not reading this fucking book. It's mental.
No,
the book is very.
Look, I like. I just finished playing Final Fantasy 15 earlier today.
You'll love this then.
Shit being fucking mental.
Yeah. You must have read the lore post and gone, vampires in space, eh? It's just like, that comes from there was placeholder races. Like when I was writing it, I was like, I want a certain race. I want it to be vampirish. Mm-hmm. So as a placeholder, I called them vampires with a capital V, right? As a placeholder. And when I got to the end, I was like, that works. I can just leave it. It's fine. It works. Yeah, because it did, because I'd written with that in mind the whole time, but I overcommitted to the point where instead of writing that as a placeholder, I just wrote that. And I was like, by the time I got to the end, I was like, this kind of, it's weird, but it works. But the pretense is, obviously, it's about reality being changed by God, essentially. It's about God changing reality while we live in it, right? And in this world, the pretense is that the fiction of our world is the reality of another world that used to exist. And in our reality, things like vampires that are legends, that's how God, in air quotes, stores things so that when that God wants to pull them back for a future iteration, that's like they're stored there, and they pull them out of fantasy and bring them back to reality. And and that the book is about the final version of reality and how we cope with knowing that reality is 2 months old and stuff like that. Spoilers, but that's what the book is about. It's about a science fiction setting where the characters are dealing with that.
Right.
I'm not mentally ill. I don't believe any of this. It's fiction. Every time I tell people about my fiction, because it's nothing worse than when someone you don't really know very well, like you're at work, and someone goes, "You write books? What's it about?" And I go,
"Oh no."
Go. Science fiction. I like science fiction. Is it like Star Trek? No. What's it like? Like I'm just like.
Imagine doing DMT and then put it on paper.
The book's not like, the lore's like that. The book makes sense. The lore does not, because it's abstract and out of. I just want to defend myself. And the book's written. The lore post is just like, here you go, plop. There you go. You asked for it. Yeah, no, the book's got characters. It's not at all. It's a very different writing style. The skill of writing a lore post is facts. The skill of writing a novel is to withhold them facts and allow the reader to come to their conclusions. But yeah, it's a different skill set. You should see my Evernote. My Evernote is a fucking wow. I switched to Evernote because you saw my lore post. Imagine how many notes I have to keep this straight in my head.
That makes sense, yeah. There's
hundreds of posts in my Evernote. Every character has got an entire backstory that's like thousands of words long. They're all hot referenced, so they reference each other. And that's the only way I can keep this shit straight in my head. And I'm currently writing the 3rd novel in that series. Yeah.
Wow.
The second one's gonna be out before Christmas. It's currently being proofread. The third one.
Oh, you did mention the second one was coming, didn't you? No. Yes.
Yeah, the second one. Is called In Her We Trust, and it is going to be out before Christmas. I don't know when, because it depends on a few things. Mostly whether or not I need to revise some points in it. Then it's got to go back for another round of proofreading once I've done that. But yeah, I'm definitely getting it before Christmas. It's just a case of when. But yeah, I won't shut up about it. I mean, when I do it, I'll post everywhere about it, obviously. But yeah, if you like Denouement, the follow up is.
I had no idea how to say the name.
It's do you know what? Have you heard the word before? Do you know what the word means?
No, I had no idea what it was. I thought it was something you made up.
No, it's a French word. Again, I removed French from the universe, so it's kind of a little joke to myself that I made the title French, and then I removed French from reality.
Right.
Made myself laugh with that one. But denouement is a French word we don't have in English, and it means the end of a narrative. It's the portion. So when you read a book and all the actions happen, then there's that little tiny bit at the end where it's like, "Well, that's fun, wasn't it?" Like that like little bit at the end where it's all wrapped up, and it's just that little bit to finish off. That's the denouement, right? That's the denouement of the novel. Sometimes it's called a coda. And so my entire book is because it's about reality has been rewritten by God.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's about dealing with the fallout, which is the denouement of the universe. It's finished. And it's what happens afterwards, which is where they come from.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The amount of people that didn't know that. I mean, I knew that. I mean, I think it's because I'm a writing wanker, and we find words like this. Like, yeah.
Well,
Like,
I saw the video
we
you
come
did
across
about
this.
writing systems, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm a writing wanker. It's true. My current writing wanker book is Writing into the Dark, which someone recommended to me based on my writing video. They watched my writing video and they was like, "Dude, you need to read this," which is how I got all those books in the video. Because every time I say something, someone's like, "You should read this," and because I'm a writing wanker, I'm like, "I'll read that." So yeah, I'm going to writing into the dark, which is a discovery writer's guide. They're all bollocks. Every one of them bollocks. Just fucking write. Like there's skills you need to learn writing, which is like plotting and story arcs and stuff. But the actual writing systems, they work for some people. They don't work for me. I just want to sit down and I write, and then I fix it afterwards, and that's how I write. Like I have I'm currently writing the third in the series, the Denouement series, and like I know where I want to end. I know a few key things that I want to happen, and I have a rough idea of what character interaction will happen on the way. But all that's in my head, and I just sit down, I just start writing, and then I might go, "Oh, that chapter didn't work. I'll save it for later." Or this scene's great, but the chapter's bad, and so I'll save that for later. Or I might, as in the case of the last two chapters I wrote, just sit down and be like, boom, like first time, like this is what I'm after, and then that leads then the events that almost I discover as I write lead me to write new things and lead me down a different path, and perhaps I won't hit all the beats I want to hit, and they'll be saved for another book, or perhaps the end, I'll get towards the end and I'll go, oh, it's going, I need to do something different because I want to. If I surprise me as a writer, the reader won't see it coming either. But it's the job then of a discovery writer to go back and do a really good job on the editing to make sure that you don't realize that halfway through I was like, I don't know what's happening, because that's what editing's for. That's
The problem you
writing
have with,
wankers.
The problem you have with the writing book sounds a lot like the problem that people pointed out with self-help books. They are all basically the same book, just phrased in a slightly different way.
That can be,
with slightly different jokes.
That can be useful. Right, that can be useful because like programming books, right, I love C, the language C, but I had a tough time learning the basics of C. Now I'm not a coder, but I'm a coder enthusiast. I like to know enough about any language that I understand when I look at code and stuff, right? So, but I'm in romantic love with C. I think C is a beautiful language, but I had real problems learning to understand it. So I bought a lot of books because I like book learning. That's how I learn. I like books more than videos, right? Videos are a thing I use, but I like books when I'm learning something, right? Because I can put post-it notes in and write things in them. I very much abuse my books. But with C, which is a very, very complex, right? To have the same thing explained 3 different ways is actually really useful, because you go, okay, all these 3 different ways of explaining it tell me the same thing, but they all come at it in a slightly different point of view. And I found that reading multiple tutorials about the same thing in C was really useful. And I think that's true in anything, but it's more prevalent in things like programming, where you can sort of like go, this worked for my brain, but not everything this author says will work for my brain. But by reading all the same tutorial from 3 different authors, I'm going to come to, I'm going to get this well-rounded approach where I'm being shown different ways of thinking about the same problem. Found it really useful. And I think with all computer stuff, it is useful. But with writing,
with tech, I absolutely do agree with that. What I was mainly talking about there was when it comes to like the putting your life in order style of self-help books.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
don't be a fuck up. The end.
Get outside, work out, touch grass, eat good food.
Fuck that. Don't do that shit. Yeah. Like the thing is though, right? Self-help books are weird. Now I'm not someone to read self-help books because
I had an addiction for a while.
It's not something I find useful. I find it interesting, and I have read self-help books, because I want to know what it was all about. I've watched self-help videos on YouTube. There's actually one where I was like, that's really clever. I'll tell you about that in a bit. But yeah, like overall, I'm not someone that needs them. I'm a functional human, but I know what I like and I'm comfortable with who I am, right? So for me, self-help books don't really offer a lot. But I can see the better. Like the problem is they're going to go, don't be fat. Try to talk to people properly. Don't dress like a muppet and get a job. That's it. That's all any of them say, as far as I can tell, right? And it's like going and like pandering different ways is fine, and I'm sure they help some people. I'm not devaluing self-help as a genre, but like the basic message of just try and be a normal, functional human and don't be creepy. will get you a long fucking way. Like, just do that. Don't be creepy. Yeah.
Usually good
That's
stuff.
my thought. But yeah. But I did see one self-help video once where I was like, this guy's really smart. And then I watched the next video. I was like, this guy's an idiot. So that was, yeah. But he said something really, no, this guy, I don't know what, I think he's called like someone himself. I stumbled across it, right? You know, I think YouTube does, but if all your friends are watching a video or a couple of friends get really into something, it starts getting, you're like this too, because your friends with them, and it starts like flicking things. Well, some of my friends must have been watching self-help videos because it randomly comes up on my feed. And there's this like YouTube short of this guy, and he says, he comes into, he's a cocky looking wanker. He walks into a room and he's like, self-help's easy, blah, blah, blah. He goes, you need to divorce your sense of self-worth from opinion. I was like, ooh, buzzwords. And then he points at, no, he points at a guy in the audience who's just this bald guy, like sitting there like this. And he goes, how does it make you feel if I say I hate your blue hair? And the guy goes, I ain't got blue hair. And he goes, yeah, but how does it make you feel? He goes, I ain't got blue hair. I don't give a shit. Right. And the guy goes, okay. So if I say I think you're stupid, why do you care? And he goes, because, and he's like, if you know you haven't got blue hair, people insulting your blue hair doesn't matter. If you know you're not stupid, people calling you're like, I'm not stupid, I don't care. And he's just like, you need to separate the two. He's like, if you know, like, if someone goes, you're fat and you know you're not, why do you care if they call you fat? Like, why do you care? You're not fat. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't care. And I was like, that's really smart. And I watched the next video and he's like, fucking women, am I right? And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, like, oh, fuck it. But like, yeah, so that one video, I was like, that's a really interesting way of looking at something. And I was like, and I think that's something that I kind of live with anyway, but like seeing it framed in that way was kind of insightful. And I enjoyed that. A few seconds of video, but yeah, I didn't want to join him for his white supremacy after that, you know, but like, I enjoyed that little bit of his video. So yeah. Again, you can have like loads of comments there going, I know what that was. I've seen that fucking video.
I
was definitely a white supremacist.
my assumption was it was just an Andrew Tate video.
I don't know I don't know any of these people. It was some thin guy that dressed like he was homeless and he had stupid hair, ironically.
He had hair. Okay, it's not Andrew Tate then.
Thin guy. He looked like he was wearing like someone's socks around his neck, and he had a shirt that didn't fit properly. But he seemed to be a look he was going for on purpose. And I never saw, like, as soon as I saw a couple of more videos, I was like, oh, just block. I don't want that again. And that was the same night that someone told me about the same night. This is all I'm sitting in bed watching, just like flicking through. You know, we all do it, right? You just can't
Sure,
yeah. The same night that I don't know who it was, and when I find which friend it is, I'm going to slap them silly. Some, like, YouTuber's like, I know what video Hex wants. And he just goes, Sigma Empath. And I was like, fuck off. I don't even know what that means, but I couldn't block fast enough. I'm going to Mevio. Fucking, I'm out. Yeah, that was what I did. That was what I did with my time. But yeah, there's some of this self-help shit. Some of these videos on YouTube, I'm like, just like, it's borderline dangerous. Just stop it. Just stop being a freak. You're just making more freaks. You freaks. So, side note, the Scrivener website has just started working again. I've had it open this whole time. It just pinged back. I'm like, ooh.
Maybe two people visiting at the same time would cause it to just shut down.
No, it's like, I know you've never heard of it because you're not a writing wanker like me, right? But Scrivener's Scrivener is like the number 2 piece of software like for writing on the planet. It's like they make bank. Like they are a big deal in writing groups, right? Like every writer will know about Scrivener, or at least tried it. So yeah, it's not like this weird backwater thing I found. It's a big thing that you'll see. I mean, a few people have cited it as reasons they bought Macs. Like it's like, you know, it's worth buying a Mac for because the Mac version is usually, up until recently, was always a version ahead. But anyway, don't want to go back to the writing wankery.
So how long did you spend working on, I guess, both your books?
It takes to write a book the way I write. It takes between 4 to 6 months to just write the book, right? And that's not, I don't consider it work because I love doing it and I find it's very good for me emotionally it's a different type of creativity to YouTube's and blogs. It's a kind of like very solitary creativity. And it takes, for the way I write, 4 to 6 months, depending on the length of the novel, depending on how many stumbling blocks I have. And then there's probably another 2 months of editing, and that 2 months is working as hard at editing as I did with writing. Like, again, hours every day, hours and hours every day. And then when I've done all that and I'm happy with it, and I've done at least 2 passes of editing, and then pass it to a proofreader, that takes couple of weeks to just go through it and make sure that I haven't done any stupid things like write the word shit instead of shirt, which I do all the fucking time. Yeah, just do that. And then when I've done that, I'll then read it one more time. And that's when I basically start working on the formatting. And that takes a little bit of time, like a couple of days of work on to get the formatting exactly right. And then I'll publish the print version and the digital version. Historically, I've always gone with Amazon's exclusivity deal. But I've had enough people ask me about itch that I've actually now released my books on itch.io, which meant I had to take a pay cut with Amazon. And as of yet, no one's bought it on itch, so I think I've been stitched by the internet. I'm trying to find the link now so I can find it.
This is why, look, you don't listen to people on the internet. They don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so at the moment, I've had a total of views of, oh my god, there's no totals here. So I've had 40 views over 2 days, right? And I've had a total of 6 sales. So, good job. Good job, I think.
There's a conversion rate there.
I mean, yeah, there is a conversion rate there. And actually, I'm not going to tell, but that might have actually been a good decision. I'm looking at the money. That actually might have been a good decision, actually. Good job, Itch. I was right to listen to you. Yeah. Three people have bought both books. I don't know if they're the same people, but six in total.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, that might actually. I was dissing that then because I expected no one to buy it, and actually, yeah, might have been a good investment.
What is the Amazon cut?
If you're with KDP, which is the Kindle Direct Publishing, which is their exclusivity deal, I get 75% of the total revenue. Right. If I'm not in an exclusive deal, I get 35%. 35%. Now, I'm the one that did all the fucking work there. I wrote the book. I thought they did nothing. They just go, ew. So my initial response was, I'll take the big chunk. Fuck you. I'll take the big chunk. But I don't write for money. No one should write for money, but it is nice to get paid, even if the amount of money I earn off my book just covers next year's Amazon. Like, if it just covers next year's subscription to Word and whatever other writing software. Like, if it just covers the software, it's not a bad payoff. And I like telling my stories. Like, as you can tell from the law post, I have a lot to say about things, right? So I really enjoy doing that, right? So it was never about the money. But you may as well take the big money if it's on offer. You may as well take the bigger cut, right? And then I got a few emails, not loads, but I got enough people who emailed me that I was like, I should probably make an effort. I should probably give them what they want. And the only way to get out of Amazon's exclusivity deal is to take the pay cut and then go to Itch. I'm out of that, I'm also going to put on the Barnes & Noble store, the Nook store, I think it is, and stuff. So I'm going to put all the places now, just put it out there. But my theory was, most people are buying it on Amazon anyway, so I might as well just give it to them where they want. What I forgot there was that I have a history of being part of the open source community. Lots of my friends, lots of the people in my Discord are in open source, and they want DRM free. So even though I had it on Amazon at DRM free, they just didn't want to go to Amazon, which I respect, and I'm not critical of that. That's totally reasonable. Which is why I was like, fine. And the third book, the second book in the series, which is my third published book, I'm going to put on Itch a day before Amazon.
Right.
I'm going to put an itch before Amazon. Not a lot before, just a day or so before. But like, I feel like I should just go, if you're going to do this, I'm going to reward you. Like, you can have it first, But yeah, I was unsure about doing it because I'm like, I'm taking a pay cut and I don't get a lot of money. And it's a difference. And again, they sell well. I've sold like a few hundred copies of each book.
Oh, wow.
So it's not like people are reading them, but we're not talking, I'm not J.K. Rowling. I'm not paying my mortgage,
Sure.
I'm buying video games and snacks, like
you're paying for Scrivener. You're paying for Word.
Yeah, I'm paying for Scrivener. I'm paying for Word, and this mouse, I guess, technically. So it's not, and if you are someone, this is the advice after 3 books in, 2 published, right? An advice I have for people that want to be self-published authors, right? If you're doing it for the money, just stop now and go and get a job. Like, there is no money in it. There are thousands of books published on Amazon every year. It is entirely possible that you are a modern day Hemingway and you will never sell a book, right? It is also possible you'll be an absolute fucking hack like J.K. Rowling and you'll hit just the right people to sell 1 trillion books, right? But it's most likely that what will happen is you'll put your book out there and you'll make a couple of £100 and that's it. It's not worth the hourly rate. Like, once you look at how much work it takes to write a book, if you're doing it for any reason other than to tell your stories, you're misunderstanding what writing's about.
Right.
And those people that say you should go and get traditionally published, I don't think it's worth losing your creative control over the thing you wrote for the very small check they give you. But that's just my take on it. Maybe your mileage may vary, but there's a lot of work to find an agent. Then that agent will then put in a lot of work that is billable hours to publish your book, and then you'll publish it, and they might go, "Here's $5,000,000," which sounds good, but then your agent fees are going to get taken out, and then you've still got to get a job, and you're still in the same boat. You might as well just put your stories out there and let people read them. You're probably not going to be better off. That's my thoughts.
You have a paperback version of your book, yes?
Yes, it's on the shelf.
What is the process you went through to actually get that to be a thing?
I have to format it a very specific way for Amazon, and how that is when you go pages, they have to be offset to the left and right, so that when they put the pages together, they're both away from the middle, right?
Right.
And that's called print formatting, right? There are lots of software that'll do that for you. Word can actually do that if you want to put the effort in, but it's a pain in the arse. I've been using Atticus for it, but Scrivener's got this built in as well. So you format it a very specific way, so the pages are offset. So one's to the left, one's to the right, one's to the left, one's to the right. So that, again, when you open it, what happens if you don't do it is you open your book, right, and you'll get the one side will be further towards the center than the other side, and that results in a weird look. You also want to make sure you pay attention to how big your page is going to be versus how close to the edge you go with your prints, right?
Right.
Lots of things you need to learn for that. But again, the software will help you. Once you've got your PDF, and they do want PDFs formatted properly, if you know if it's worked, if you hit page down, it goes bit, 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 bit left and right as you page down, because you go, what the fuck's that about? You know, when you've done that, you don't put a cover on it. You then go to Amazon and you go publish print book. So once you should already have your ebook set up at that point. You go do this. I'm going to add another format, and the format I want to add is print, right? And it'll go, do you want a ISBN number? You do, because Amazon gives them you for free, so you'd be stupid not to. A book requires an ISBN number, which is for those of you that don't know, most people do, it's the number above the barcode on the back of the book, and it just says ISBN. It's a long number, right? That's how libraries order your book. So if you want your book to be available in libraries, it has to have an ISBN. Amazon will provide that for you, which is really nice of them, to be fair. They must do something for their money, I guess.
If they didn't provide that for you, how would you even go about getting that?
You can buy them. You can literally buy a job lot of ISBN. You can buy like 10 ISBNs for £100, and then you just go on the website, the Writing Bureau website, and you're like, this ISBN is linked to this book by me, and it's available from these places. And that's it. Okay. It's not hard. It's just money that you don't really want to spend. Like, you know, it's like 20 quid per number minimum is the cheapest. Obviously, I mean, Amazon just do it for free. But anyway, then you just go down, you put your cover on. Again, the cover has to be, you want front, spine, and back, and a very specific size with very specific dimensions. They give you like a template. By the way, their template was wrong. It was out by 5 pixels, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it annoyed the shit out of me. Anyway, what I did was I made the page transparent, and I lined up my assets and that, so that when I make the cover transparent, I can see through it. I'm like, this all lines up. You then go, it's done now. Then they make you pay to send you a publisher copy, which is a copy of your book with not for resale printed across the front in big writing, which is super annoying because you like, what I paid for it, you fucks. Anyway, when you're happy with it, you go, do that. And then they just publish it. It just turns up on the Kindle store with your EPUB, just as a second format. And if I was to do an audiobook, which I'm not planning on doing, but if I was to do an audiobook, the process is similar, but you just go through this other website and then it links back to Amazon. It's an Amazon-owned website, but they keep it separate because there's a lot of tooling involved.
Right.
Yeah, that's it. It's not difficult, and that's the process on Amazon. There are other ways to do that, and there are vanity presses where you can just go, like, I just want 10,000 of this book, go print them. Right. But you don't put, again, there's no money in writing for most people. So if Amazon are willing to do all the work, just let them. And then someone goes, I want a print copy, but I don't want to go to Amazon. I'm like, here you go, print it yourself. Like that's your answer. Like, I'll send it to you. You go get it printed yourself. I'm not doing it, you know? But that means by doing it all this way, I maintain the copyright of my own work and I maintain ownership of my own work so that I can just do what I want with that writing. I don't have to worry about like what the publisher thinks and stuff. I can just do what I want, and I don't do this as a full-time living, and I would never be able to probably. So I just tell my stories.
I think that's probably the healthiest way to do it anyway. Like, whether not just with that, just with sort of anything that, whether it's YouTube, whether it's writing, whether it's, I don't know, got more Pepsi. Whether it's writing blogs or anything else like that, I think any sort of creative endeavor like that is best to treat as purely just a hobby, and maybe at some point, like doing that enough over time, it gets to the point where it's actually viable as a job, viable as a career. But I think that early stage, at least that's the way that I've approached it with YouTube. I've like I do this a lot. I spend a lot of time on it, but I haven't been treating it like a job per se. It's been like, I do this, I work on this stuff, and that's what I do. But I enjoy it. And I think when you start treating it a little bit too seriously, that's when it will start sort of draining the enjoyment you get out of it, if that makes any sense.
What you're saying, I completely agree with, but I would say, especially my writing, I do take it seriously. Like I do, I work as hard. I work as hard as any writer does on their writing, right? But I just want people to read it and enjoy my stories.
But I mean, like, you're not thinking.
Yeah, I'm not there for the money. I'm not
like,
going.
This is
I'm
how
doing this.
I'm going to
get paid. Yeah,
like
mostly because if I do it with that mindset, I'm going to make a worse book.
Yeah,
like if I go, what if I'm going? I want people to buy this one, so I have to pander to. I have to do fan service in this book. That's going to result in a worse story, which then hurts me in the future. So it's not like the only way to approach these things is like, this is what I do. I'm not looking at money. I'm doing this because I love it. Because ultimately, if no one was reading my books, and people are reading them, which is beautiful and brilliant, I love it. And like I said, hundreds of people have bought my book, but I do it for me to read and for my friends to read, and so that I can I did this. It's a good feeling that you don't get from other things.
Well, I do want to make one thing clear. When I say I don't necessarily do it as a job, like purely as a job, that's not me saying that I don't care about the money. If I didn't care about the money, I wouldn't have ads on the videos. Like that, I wouldn't have a Patreon. Like I care about the money, but it's not like the main driving force.
You know what? I don't think you do care about the money, right? Because forget them. Like what the reality is that I'm doing the work for fun. I may as well allow myself to be paid. That's not the same as doing it for money. Because I write my books and I sell them. And the reason I sell them is because if I give it away for free, people are going to take it and not read it. If they pay for it, they're going to read it, right? As a general rule of thumb. So you can, with writing, I add value by putting a financial barrier there, right? Which sounds mental, but believe me, the research is there. And with your videos, you're doing it anyway. You're making, I don't like the word product because it's bullshit, right? But you're doing something and you're outputting some work you've done, a work of entertainment or education, depending on the video, right? Why should you not have the facility that if people want to give you money, they can? That's not the same as asking for money. Like if you went, oh, my videos are exclusive to Patreons now, that's being an asshole and that's doing it for money. But to say, if you like my videos and you want to give me money, that's great. Like that's the way we should pay creative people. And that's correct. Like if the people who make superhero movies, when the movie's free, but if you liked it, give us some money, that'd be great. Like a good example of that is I watched a movie recently that I may have acquired from the internet through dubious legal methods. I enjoyed it. And when the movie was over, I pulled out my phone, I loaded up Google Pay, Google Thing it, and I bought the film. I'm not going to watch that because I've just watched it. But I gave them money because they made something I loved. And I was like, I like this so much. I want to give you £20, whatever it is, for this movie because it's good. And whether or not something has a financial cost associated does not affect me watching it for free, or any of us. Let's be honest, right? We all can get these things if we really want to. We can get any game we want for free, but we pay for it because we want to get. That. No, okay.
I am legally obligated to say I've never done this.
Okay, but you're aware of how to do it. You have the skill set required. I'm guessing.
I've certainly heard about the skills.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, functionally, a barrier of payment does nothing because we choose to give money. Like when I buy an indie game off Steam, I can absolutely get that indie game for free in many places that is no more difficult than Steam, right? But I like the fact it's easy to get on Steam. I can just go click and it installs. And I like the fact that good example of this is Backpack game I played recently. What's that called? The game with the backpack. You get the mouse with the backpack. Backpack Hero. There you go. Good game, Backpack Hero. Backpack Hero is really good. It's a good game.
No,
right?
I've not heard
of
it.
It's like £13. Backpack is good. You should look it up. £13, right? It was highly recommended by a friend of mine that played it in alpha, right? So I gave them £13. I absolutely could have gone and got that for free,
Mhm.
right? The pay barrier didn't do anything. We all try and reward things we like. We go, here's some money, make more of that. And that's the same with YouTube and with writing and with art. I like a thing, here's some money, make some more. That's how we should do it. And that's why Patreon's a great idea. Why they take a massive cut is another conversation. But the idea of going, I made YouTube videos. If you like them, give me some money if you want. Or if not, just share them, I guess. That's not you doing it with money in mind, and that's not you expecting to get paid. That's just how things are supposed to work. But we've got confused by Disney mostly.
I think it just depends on how you want to frame it. No, I totally understand where you're coming from with that. I don't know. Maybe I think more about it, but I'm not now. Hearing what you've said now, I'm not too sure the way I would frame it. Anyway, I'm looking at this game right now, Backpack Hero, and it looks actually really cool. So
it's really cool.
What's the deal with it? It's a roguelike of some sort.
I'm gonna stop writing wankering now. I'm gonna talk about some computer stuff. Sorry guys. Steam. Let me go to Backpack Hero on Steam. Backpack Hero Steam. So the game is basically it's a bit of a contrivance, but basically you go through a dungeon screen by screen, right? And you have the items in your backpack, and every turn you use energy to take something from your backpack and use it, right? But you have finite space, and you don't level up. Your bag gets bigger, right? So you can store more stuff. So if you've got a sword in your bag, it's also inventory management. Like there'll be a thing like there's a sword, and the sword is more powerful if it's next to a pair of gloves. So you have to arrange your backpack to put the sword next to the gloves. So when you use the sword, it's more powerful. Or it'll be like, this is heavy, so it drops the bottom of the bag, right? So that might be, I've got to move everything up, or I can't do that because if I have that item, I can't put the sword next to the gloves. And, or like, this is light, it floats to the top of the bag, And it's kind of a contrivance and it's very gamey, but it results in this interesting game where you get to kind of like the game is inventory management almost, and it's kind of like it scratches the itch of the old Diablo players and stuff as well. But ultimately, it's Slay the Spire with backpack items rather than cards. Ultimately,
yeah, I'm playing through Slay the Spire right now. It's very fun.
It is, yeah. Backpack. It's different games. It's different enough that it's.
Oh, I lose you. Oh, I lost him. Oh, well, let's.
I'm back.
Oh, now I'm in your spot.
I'm sorry. It's not my fault. My Discord crashed.
Oh,
it does. I don't know why.
Okay, no, now we're good. Okay, cool. I was in your camera spot for a moment, but for some reason it flipped him around when your camera wasn't on. I don't know why it does that.
Sorry guys, I meant to say, I'm chasing a bug that I think is a Windows bug, ironically, where if I'm on a video call, Discord just dies after an hour. It's pretty much bang on an hour. It just closes and reopens. It's fine when it reopens, but just closes. I meant to warn you, but I totally forgot. My bad. Sorry.
I haven't
fucked up your recording. Yeah,
we
do Trendy Talk, my podcast, which is 2 hours, right? So halfway through, we have the little crash. Just a little crash halfway through every week. I have no idea why. I even doubled like my laptop that I'm using that I use as my main computer had 16 gig of RAM, so I upped it to 32, thinking it was a RAM issue. Made no fucking difference. So I don't know what that's about. Electron, I guess. I don't know.
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't do it on voice. It only does it with video. That's why I think it's some kind of buffer problem.
That's really weird.
Who knows? Yeah, I'm wondering because like I've got my eGPU is got an AMD card in there, and AMD drivers are an absolute dog turd on every operating system. And I know Linux guys are like, no, AMD's open source. Those drives are a bag of shit. Stop it. You're lying to yourself.
Don't get me wrong. A bag of shit compared to a bag of flaming shit.
Yeah. Like, no, don't get me wrong. I understand. Like, and I chose an AMD card willingly during my time, when I was on Linux. But now I'm on Windows. I really wish I had an NVIDIA card because fuck me. Anyway, sorry. Side note. I think the drivers do some minor reset every so often. I think that causes some interference because my eGPU has got USB ports in the back, and my camera and my microphone are plugged into the eGPU because obviously I want one cable for my laptop.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So like, I don't want to fuck everything plugged into the GPU. And I think it's doing some kind of like timeout with the drivers for the PCIe. I don't know. I'm digging in. I'm looking into it. Because it doesn't bother me because I'm not usually on the video call for an hour, so it's not too much of a concern.
But
Windows.
before you disappeared, we're talking about
Backpack Hero. Sorry.
So I've been playing through Slay the Spire on stream, and I really like I didn't like roguelikes when I was younger, but I've sort of gotten into them. But I'm kind of sick of the, you know, the Dead Cells, the Hades, the you go through this dungeon and you get upgrades and you fight things. I want a different style of roguelike. And Slay the Spire is a card game. Backpack Hero is inventory management. It's a different gimmick on the same sort of baseline.
Yeah, no, I agree. My favorite roguelike at the moment is definitely Vampire Survivors. You know, mate, it's such a great game, Vampire Survivors.
I love Vampire Survivors. Good. It's very good.
So good. So good. But actually, side note of Backpack Hero, sorry, side note, Vampire Survivors is when you first play it, you're like, this is a fun drop in, drop out little game where I jump in and have fun. No. 50 hours in, you're like, this is fucking half an hour. I am here till the end, motherfucker. Yeah. And it's not whether you will finish the run, it's how fantastically you'll do the run. It's like, will I die in a flame of glory or fucking fireworks and God, you know? But yeah, like, I can't, like, I play it less now, I'm better at it because I liked it better when it was drop in, drop out. Like, just drop in 10 minutes, drop. I really like that. I do multiple runs, but now it's like half an hour a run. I'm just like, there's my Steam Deck. Like this is my life now. Like, you know, I do. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Can you even see anything going on the Steam Deck?
You know, have you not got Steam Deck?
No, I'm in Australia. I haven't opened
up
sales here.
Why don't you just not be in Australia?
They're expanding to Asia, so Asia's close to Australia. So
Asia, Australia.
Look, Look, by the time we get them here, Steam Deck 2. Yeah, I was talking to Liam Dorr the other week, Gaming on Linux guy, about Steam Deck.
Yeah,
he's very happy with his.
So I use my Steam Deck a lot more than I thought I would, right? Like a lot more than. Oh look, I've just had my EA Play subscription expire. I don't care. Whatever. I've got Game Pass. I don't give a shit. Yeah. So like, it's big enough in your hand that when you're playing it, like it doesn't feel small because you have it so close to your fucking head. It gets bigger as it gets closer. But I as of yet. The fact that it's basically a 720 screen, it's a little bit bigger, but the fact it's like a fairly low resolution screen, it's that right size and the right distance from my head that I haven't give a shit.
I just mean with Vampire Survivors, everything's small in that game in the first place.
Honestly, no, it's fine. Like, I didn't even give it a thought. I haven't even given it a thought. It's just fine. Like, you know, it's absolutely fine. There was a couple of updates and it runs a bit better now than it did to start with because when it first came out, it was a bit rough on the deck apparently, but it's all right now. But yeah,
it was a bit rough just in general.
Yeah, it was. But no, I really love Vampire Survivor and my default since having my Steam Deck, if a game works on my Steam Deck, that's where I play it. Which, you know, also explains how I'm fine using a laptop as my main computer as well, I guess. But yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Steam Deck's great. You should, when it comes out,
I would love to get a Steam Deck. Like, I've heard nothing. I heard one bad thing about it. It was just if you take the back off, make sure you take your SD card out because otherwise it'll snap in half. Don't forget about that.
Obviously, like,
just don't forget about that one.
Course.
No, multiple people have done it at this point. It's. But besides that,
that's on you.
Besides that, it seems like a really, really cool device, and
there's no downside to it. It's weird. There's no downside to it.
I kind of miss the days when I had like a Nintendo DS and other handhelds where I could just like lay in bed and just play video games. I don't have a Switch, sadly. I've been meaning to get a Switch for ages.
Don't bother. Wait for Steam Deck. Since having my Steam Deck, I've just stopped using my Switch. There's no point. Like, I've got 3,000 games on Steam. I don't give a shit. My Switch has got like 8. I don't give a shit. I've got a Steam Deck now. I play everything on there.
It is basically powerful enough to emulate the Switch as well.
I haven't done that. I messed with it when I first had my Steam Deck, but I decided that I couldn't be asked. I just because it's so easy to go on Steam and go, I want that, and it just downloads. And I did the effort to make Game Pass work on it. Like you can do the xCloud stuff, so I can play Halo on it, and I can just install things on Steam. And I'm like, that's enough games. Like I've got 58 games installed on it. Like that's enough games. Like I don't need more. And I've got a Switch, and I've bought all the games I want for my Switch. And also I've used the Steam Deck, since I've had one. When I pull out my Switch now, I'm like, it's a tiny baby thing. It's so small. It's so small. But Steam Deck's like, yeah, it feels powerful. But yeah, I recommend Steam Deck, and yeah, it's become my main way of playing things, and I can't see that changing until the Steam Deck 2 comes out, which I don't want it to be soon. But it's pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, the default way to play games for me now.
So Steam Deck, hasn't been fully confirmed, but there was some marketing material that came out a little bit ago that did say that it was going. I
read that. Yeah.
It's going to be a multi-generational thing. I'll see if I can find it because I haven't seen it.
No, I know the one you mean. It's the leaflet they dropped in Asia, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, though, of course it is. Like they weren't going to go. Here's a Steam Deck. We're done. See you later. Of course, they was going to do a Steam Deck 2. That'd be dumb.
Do you remember Steam machines? I think the question was whether it was going to do well, and it's done well.
And it's doing well, so it's good. Like
Steam machines didn't.
Can't make
That's
them
the difference.
Enough. Steam machines was Valve trying to move too soon because they hadn't got the infrastructure in place.
In case anyone forgot about Steam machines, Proton didn't exist back then.
Yeah. The problem with Steam machines was that there was just like, oh, here's Linux. Like, what does it do that an Xbox doesn't? Nothing. It's worse. What is it? Can I put Windows on it? Yeah. Oh, I can just buy a Windows PC then. Yeah. What am I buying? What's the point? It had no purpose. The Steam Deck takes my takes my current existing library of Linux of Steam games, and I can play them on the toilet. I can take it to work and play Vampire Survivors on lunch, right? Like, and if I don't want to, I can sit it in this little cradle I've got here and plug in the USB. And if I turn on that TV, my Steam Deck's on that TV now, and I use this PlayStation controller, and I just sit and play here, and it gives me something other things don't. So of course it sold well. Whereas the only console that gives me what the Steam Deck gives me is the Switch, but with way more expensive games, way less power, and
way less games.
And let's face it, really uncomfortable controllers. Yeah, so yeah, no, I think the Steam Deck sold so well they can't make them fast enough. People have to remember that. The only reason there's not more Steam Decks out there is because they're still making them. So if you think about
what came out during the hardware shortage, so that's obviously a big issue with that. If the Steam Deck had come out let's say it came out 6 months before COVID, it would have been an insane device. There would have been. I wouldn't be surprised if there were a couple 100,000 units out there already. If it come out back then.
The numbers are higher than that already, aren't they?
Do they have the numbers public? I didn't think they did.
They don't, but someone's done the maths on how many they ship per day. They're shipping an estimate. They was shipping 6,400 units a week. And they're now doing, according to Google, 13,000 units a week. Right? So if you do the maths on that already, based on what we know, there's definitely more than 2 out there.
Definitely more than 2. True.
There's someone's done the math. I think that they have said there's coming up to 1 million Steam Decks, out there.
That wouldn't surprise me. Considering they're still expanding into more countries and continents. That's the word. They're expanding more continents. There are areas that haven't been able to buy them yet.
Yeah, absolutely. And
it's definitely going to be a big seller. I'd be very surprised if it's not a big seller in Asia.
It's because the Asian market the Asian market tends to be way more into portable gaming anyway, and they tend to be really into LAN stuff, and the Steam Deck's kind of great for that. It's a LAN party in your pocket, really. It's a weird size. I mean, if I had to be critical of the Steam Deck, I understand why it's the size it is. Right, but I do kind of feel like it's too big to be truly portable. Because if I take this Switch, put it in a slipcase and drop it in my satchel, because I have a satchel when I go work, I take a satchel because I have a lot of paperwork and laptop and stuff. Right, I can slip a Switch in my bag. It's fine. the Steam Deck case, right? Like, is this? That's a bag on its own. Like, it's got a handle on the back. It's like it's a briefcase. Like, it's not really portable in the same way, is it? Like, not something you can like you might take it on a train journey.
That's backpack portable. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, like, I could like. The reality is, the weight, the size of the Steam Deck, the size of the packaging. If I want to play Vampire Survivors at work, I've got my work laptop in my bag. I can just pick up my actual laptop and put that in the bag as well. It wouldn't weigh very much more. It weighs about the same, if we're honest, with the power pack and stuff. And the battery's better. Like, there's not like it's portable, and I get it. And I'm not saying it should be smaller, but there's still a place for my little tiny Switch.
Right.
You know, there's still a place for my old DS. There's still a place for other devices. But I also get why the Steam Deck is the size it is. And I think I wouldn't be shocked if we see at some point a revision where they just make it all a little bit smaller. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that at some point. Or Steam Deck 2 is physically a little bit more streamlined. That wouldn't shock me. But I like the power. I like the 16 gig of RAM because I think that's the right amount of RAM for gaming.
Wait, do they have 16 gigs of RAM?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I'm going to check this now in case I'm wrong.
That's...
Steam Deck tech specs. If I've got this wrong, I'm going to feel like a right ninny.
Sure I believe you.
I'm checking myself. Yeah, 16 gig of DDR5.
Ooh. Yeah. I see why people are using it as a desktop.
Oh, I've used it. Yeah, I've done that. Yeah, there you go. There's a tech sheet. Yeah, 16 gig. It's got. I mean, the specs are. It's an APU Zen 2 architecture with 8 RDNA 2C CPU cores.
Means, yeah.
It means it's faster than. It means the Steam Deck graphics card is probably ballpark as fast as the 5600 XT that's in my eGPU.
Yeah, it's definitely faster than the GPU I have in my. I'm running a 570.
Do you not enjoy color in your games?
What?
Do you not like colors? Do you have to run it black and white, or is that on a CRT? They're like. I have. Oh, that wasn't my end this time.
No, I think that might be my connection. I'm in Australia.
I think that's Discord playing up.
Could
actually, because
like
my computer over there that's under my window there, right? Mm-hmm. That's like an R5, like an AMD R5 with like 32 gig of RAM and like NVMe's out the UHA, and I put it away because I'm using a HP EliteBook laptop as my main computer, and that felt pointless, right? Like, don't worry about your graphics card. I'm using a laptop and I feel happier because of it. Mm-hmm. That's mad. Like, we have so much compute in the modern day. And like most games I play, I'm going to go, eGPU has got my eGPU. It's a nice, it's to be honest, I've got a nice eGPU. It's got hard drive bay in it. So I can, all my Steam games, and because Steam's really good at connecting and disconnecting libraries, thanks to Steam Deck, they had an update, right? Mm-hmm. It's nice because all my Steam games are on the 1 terabyte SSD in the in the eGPU. So I just plug it in. It's like Steam goes, I found them, yay! And then when I unplug it, it goes, they're gone, and like it doesn't care, which is really nice. Mm-hmm. But between GeForce Now, Xbox Game Pass, and my Steam library, I don't find my eGPU gets ramped up very often. To be honest, I don't find it doesn't. I don't really use it that. Like most of the time, I'll just play Halo with some friends, or I'll play Monster Hunter, or like there's not a lot of things. My desktop PC doesn't need to be gaming grade anymore, and that's weird to me. It's a weird transition. Partly because I'm playing less games, but partly because like I played like the last game that came out new that I wanted to play was Spider-Man, and it came out Steam Deck certified on day one. So I just installed it on my Steam Deck, and that's where I've not even played it outside the Steam Deck because why would I? So it's weird. So yeah, don't worry about your shitty graphics card because it doesn't fucking matter. It genuinely doesn't matter.
But I want a better graphics card.
I want an NVIDIA graphics card. I'm just so fucking sick of Red Team crashing on me every time I fucking do something weird.
I did notice that you talked about Stray a little bit ago on your channel. Stray's
I have mixed feelings on Stray.
It is a very fun. I finished it. It's very okay. I was like, hey, I didn't know anything going into it besides it's funny cat game. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a cute game about cats. Like, oh no, it's cyberpunk dystopia. Like, okay, sure, okay.
Okay, so according to Steve, it took me 7.5 hours to finish Stray. Right, again, entirely on Steam Deck. Entirely on Steam Deck, right? So you finished it, right?
I did finish it, yes.
Can we put a spoiler warning up? Because I don't want to hold back. We got spoiler
We
warning.
can absolutely go.
Spoilers!
Absolute spoilers here.
Spoilers! I'm doing over here like my camera's over here. Like I forgot where my camera is today. I'm dancing now. I've got the shirt for it. Oh wait, how am I wearing a more ostentatious shirt than you? You're the one with the shirts, aren't you?
Wait, I can bring something over.
Shoot up!
I don't have a shirt here, but we can wear this.
Take it off.
Wait, but it does this.
Keep it on. Yeah, so oh fucking hell he is. Stray, okay, so Stray, for those that don't know, is it's Tomb Raider with a cat, right? It's just Tomb Raider, but she's a cat now, right? That's literally Stray, right?
Sure.
And instead of being in like the forgotten past of Earth, Tomb Raider cat is in the future, in the forgotten past of Earth, which is the future for us still. But it's Tomb Raider in the future with a cat. Which when I realised that, I was like, ruined. Yeah.
That's such a good comparison.
It literally is. But like Tomb Raider set now looking at our past, and this cat's in the distant future looking at its past. It's Tomb Raider with a cat. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. It is though. It literally is. I have a couple of problems with. I like the game. I enjoyed it. I'll probably never play it again. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah,
which is interesting because it's $23.99, so it's priced. I think priced very reasonably. I did not begrudge the money I spent on it. Right, it was a good game, but I am never going to play it again.
There is no replayability.
It's beautiful, and if you take, because I mean, 7.5 hours. That was me taking my time exploring the environment. I looked at everything, but like, there's no surprises. There's no depth to it. It's just everything you see is what you get. That's it. And once you know how to solve the puzzles, and I say the word puzzles loosely, there was not one puzzle that made me go more than, oh, okay, I've got it now. Like, the most complicated one was the one where there's like a thing in the middle of the room you need to get, and you got to roll barrels to get to it.
That one, I got confused because I didn't see the thing you had to go and jump over.
That's why I didn't see the photocopier in the cupboard. And I just opened the cupboard and got the photocopier on wheels out. Like, that's basically what happened, right? But like it didn't stump me, even to the point where I think there's more complex puzzles in Tomb Raider, in like the recent Tomb Raider games.
There was one that really got me early in the game. So it's just after you get little flying robot dude. And
who was the actual only character in the game? Yeah.
Yes. So you have to go and unlock a door, and there's like a code you have to find, and like a room you go back towards.
You didn't see the code, did you?
I saw the code. I thought it was said like 42 plus something, and then I went closer, and I realized the plus wasn't actually a plus. It took me like 10 minutes to realize it wasn't. It's like there's got to be some code somewhere. There's got to be another number somewhere in this room.
Yeah. You know what? Honestly, I kind of know what you mean there, because that's kind of done in a way that like you like. I just moved the bucket and I could read the code. Your brain goes, no fucking way is it that easy, right? And that's when you go, what's the trick? It does. It almost stumps you by being too fucking easy. But like, cats are stupid, so you know. But like maybe.
Then when I was like onto the game, like there's a bit later where the code is like the numbers on the clocks that are stopped, and I was onto the game at that point. I was like, there are 4 clocks. Every code has 4 numbers. It's the fucking clocks.
Yeah, but if you I basically that puzzle was again like I was making a cup of tea and the robot guy that's in the room when that happens just goes, "Where will we find the codes?" It's just like, what? It's telegraphed to the point. Like, I reckon if you wait longer, they'll start chiming and flashing. Like but again, the game is supposed to be a fun. It's not supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be a fun adventure in a weird cyberpunk robot world, right?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I'm great. That's fine, right? I have 2 criticisms, right? And like these criticisms aren't even big criticisms because I enjoyed it. But there's 2 things that piss me off so bad. Firstly, why can the cat read? And everyone goes, the cat can't read. The robot reads, right? And then the robot speaks cat. Okay. Except for before you get the robot, there's a sign that says help with an arrow this way, right? If that sign had have just been symbols and then you pick up the robot, then you can read it, I would have gone, oh, that's smart. right?
Mm.
But the cat can read. Cats can't read. That's stupid. If cats can read, I need to throw mine out when I'm watching porn.
No,
You know?
that there is definitely a lot of that stuff early on. I thought it's like nice and like fancy. Like, hey, look, we're pointing in a direction with the environment, but that's a
don't use
very
the
good
letters.
point.
Use an arrow. You have a light flashing. Like, lead the cat through flashing lights.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even have an arrow, and it's me, the gamer, that did it. But when you see the word help, and the cat goes, all right, let's go then. Like, fuck off. Cats can't read. That's not. And the other one that pissed me off, right, is I guarantee I want to talk to the developers of this game because I know I figured out their original ending, and it's, I think, genius because it's so obvious, right? All the way through the game, the little pig mice that are attracted to metal.
Yeah.
They chase the cat. Right?
Right.
They chase the cat. Now, the robot thing goes, it's me, I'm attracting them. Bullshit. There was a version of this game where the cat's a robot. Right? There is a version of the game where you get to the end, it's like, oh, cat's a robot. And you were supposed to go, wow. And I guarantee they playtested, everyone went, ugh. Right? And they changed it because the version of this game where at the very end, the cat's a robot would have been dope. It would have been absolutely brilliantly. Because the thing is, the whole game is like, it's not even modern day cyberpunk. It's almost like mid 70s cyberpunk. It's like, it's almost got this vibe of like, of like some like Moon is a Harsh Mistress and stuff like that kind of like classical sci-fi. So for it to have that classical sci-fi vibe, and then when you get to the end and the facilities like really 50s and weird, right? For it to have a 60s sci-fi ending would have been fucking dope, right? And they bottled it, and I won't ever forgive them because it would have been cool if the cat was a robot at the end, right? But instead, the cat, what's he do? He leaves his robot friend and fucks off to go and sniff at the cat's asses. Who gives a shit? Just kill it now and not bother.
I actually was kind of bothered by the ending because I got to that ending and he just like stands on the ledge and then it just ends. I was like, wait, did I miss something? Is there like a secret ending that there's like extra?
I looked as well.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
I thought there was gonna be like another cat that comes over and they're like he rejoins the cat gang. No, he just leaves. He's just over.
He's just like, oh fuck yeah. But there's this big thing with the robot human robot thing. Like, I want to know what that's about. That's the story I was there for. I don't give a shit about the cat. The cat was. It's like I feel like the cat was almost the tool the robot used. It's not a game about a cat. The cat is the interface by which the robot has the adventure, right? Because it's a cat. It doesn't have fucking... It's a cat, you know? Like, so when the robot is the one having the adventures, because it's not the cat's agenda, it's the robot's agenda. It's the robot that we're really following. The cat is like, it's just there. It's cute and I like it. But the robots, I want to know, tell me about the robot's history. The robot used to be a human, they say at one point. Is he? What's that about? Where are the humans? There's all this stuff that's so much more interesting than a fucking stupid cat. So if the game used the cat to explore these things, I would have gone, oh, bravo. But instead, it's just a shallow cat game, and that's just kind of sad because it was so good. Like but even then, the two areas, like the first area and then the little town thing you get to, are like these interesting open areas with not so much puzzles, but intricate exchanges that happen mechanically. Like you do a thing and then this happens, which makes this happen. So then this, there's all these things that happen there. But in between, you're walking through corridors and the in-between bit is very boring, right? The only reason you don't notice is because you're constantly waiting for something to happen. So you don't notice it's boring. But you'll never play it again because the next time through you'll go, ugh, corridor.
I actually did go back and play through some of the chapters because I missed some of the memories. And going back and doing that, I fully agree. Yes, it's just, can I get to the next bit? I know where the memory is. Can I just go get there? I don't care about this. Don't care about this.
You're running to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're running to the end. You're not experiencing the game. The first time you kind of bask in it because you don't know what's happened. But once you know where it leads, you just barrel running through to get to the end. And that's not a game you want to replay. You want to replay a game you want to bask in. Like, for all its faults, you're basking Cyberpunk 2077, You're not basking in Cyberpunk cat game.
Yeah. Well,
but
there's a game that it does so little with what's happening, but I still have replayed it multiple times. Journey on, I guess, PS3 and PS4.
Oh yeah, Journey's a good game. Yeah, Journey's good. It's on Steam as well, isn't it, Journey?
It's on Steam? I didn't know it ever left PlayStation. But that's a game where nothing happens. It's just a journey, and there's something that draws you back into it. I don't know what it is about that world. But there was one thing I wanted to say about Stray. Did you pick up on some of the really fucking on the nose references? Like
Which ones?
Elliot, the programmer, which is a very obvious Mr. Robot reference.
No, I did not. I
you've
can't.
not-
I'm not. I've seen the first season, Mr. Robot, and at the end, I went, "That was alright."
No,
Yeah,
he's Elliot the programmer, and he's a robot. It's the most obvious fucking reference in the world.
he's literally Mr. Robot. Yeah, no, okay, that's cute. It's cute because I missed that, so that's cute. Yeah, it's kind of it's fine. Yeah.
One thing I love about the game is the soundtrack. Man, that's when you first enter the slums, and like everyone's running away from you.
I can't talk about the soundtrack because every time I load a game, the very first thing I do is go and turn off music in every game.
Really? Wait, so
that's not true. There's one. Sorry. Doom and 2016 and Doom Eternal, I don't turn off the soundtrack for, and Stellaris, I don't turn off the soundtrack for. Every other game, turn off the soundtrack.
Wait, so that bit where you had to go take the tape and put it into the music player to get the like the guy in the shop to like come around to like turn the music off so you could steal the thing. You didn't hear that track?
No, that track plays with the music turned off.
Okay.
I didn't. I gets worse. I didn't hear it because I didn't have my speakers turned on. I don't know I don't know if I'm wired up wrong, but like game sounds are just annoying and I don't need them. I mute everything. I don't give a shit. Like I play Halo with no sound most of the time. It doesn't do anything for me. I just,
What?
Like while I played Stray, I think I was listening to Kylie Minogue's disco album on loop. I'm very cool. Like for the audio listeners, for the audio listeners, Brody's like stunned and terrified and annoyed. He's rubbing his head in disbelief at this. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't. It tells me I just don't give it. Like I've got a Spotify subscription. I'll pick the music. I don't want to listen to your shitty ambience when I could be listening to Kylie Minogue.
Well, I can agree with listening to music, listening to other stuff when I'm like. When it's a game where I don't really care about the music, like when I'm doing like, I don't know, dungeons in FF14, I will listen to music and stuff. But a game where it's entirely like the ambience of the world, I'm gonna listen to that in-game music. Like
if there's a button to turn off the music track in movies, I would press it every time.
This is the sad. Be sad now. This is sad time.
I don't get. I play Halo on mute. I quite like the soundtrack for Doom, but once I played it once, I'll mute it after that. Because the Doom soundtrack is like kind of good music independently of the game, right?
Yeah.
Like, and because there are certain sound like the soundtrack to games is usually something that only works when you're playing the game, right?
Sure.
The soundtrack to Doom is a banging album even without playing Doom, right? You could never play Doom. You go, that's a cool rock album, right? So that kind of got past the first time, but after that, it's like that got a one time on, but pretty much always I'll be like, ugh, whiny melodramatic harps and shit. Fuck off. Yeah, and I know, and again, this is something where I know I'm wrong, and this is because like I care about different things. Like with most games, there's two types of game for me. There's games where like Stray, where I'm there to bask in it, and I'm there to like read the lore, and
Except
I'm there
the music.
to be part of the. Music is just a thing that just to distract you from like I'll bask in the lore. Like if I'm playing an RPG, I'll bask in the lore and I'll want to know and I'll go and explore and I'll get involved. Most games, I'm just there to shoot aliens.
That's fair.
And I don't really care. I just want to shoot. And like most games I play, I'm there for the mechanics. Some RPGs with really strong stories, my writer brain kicks in. I just want to know about the story, right? And Stray, the first time through, like implied more depth than was there and made me excited to find out about the world. Turns out there's fucking nothing in the world, but like I was excited to explore that world, so I got played it a different way. But most games, I'm interested in mechanics, and I don't really give a shit about a lot of other things.
No, I do agree that with Stray that when they started, the cat stuff was cool at the start. When they started introducing the robot dynamics and like their like this community of robots, this lack of humans, that for some reason these robots have grown their own personality over the years. for some reason they like these alien things are here to destroy the robots. All of this stuff, I feel
You don't
like
know why. It's a why.
yeah, and like there's
Yeah.
a bit where you see these giant creepy eyes on the wall, and there's like a bunch of little orange dudes running around. What the hell was that?
Yeah, I feel like Stray is set inside a larger science fiction.
I feel like Stray needs a lore dump.
No, I'll write that. Let's go. Fucking yeah, let's do that. But no, like I feel like if Stray was the same game it is, but it was set to happen alongside Half-Life 1 or Half-Life 2. So Half-Life 2 is happening, but you're a cat, right? So everything happens in Half-Life 2 happens, but you're a cat, right? That'd be fucking dope. That'd be amazing because they don't need to spend time explaining stuff because Half-Life done that. You're just seeing the whole thing as a cat. And I feel like that, or in the case of Stray, I feel like we're playing the cat, and there's another game that explains all the fucked up lore and robots that's supposed to exist that doesn't, and that's kind of my abstract critique of Stray. It's a small part of a larger world, which should be fucking fascinating, but they haven't bothered fleshing it out.
I do hope that the devs do something with the world. If they don't, it feels like such a wasted opportunity.
Yeah, like at the end when the dome opens and the robots see the sky for the first time, I'm like, I didn't even realize I couldn't see the sky. Like there's things you do, you don't realize how deep you are and stuff. And like make an RPG now, like a full-on RPG about robots that carries on from there onwards. And Stray was the prelude to something amazing. That'd be cool. But I don't think we're going to get that. I think we're going to get another shitty cat game. That's what we're going to get, another cat. We're going to get Cat 2, or we're going to get like a continuation. Like we're going to get more of the same. We're not going to get something, or the devs are going to take the money from this massive hit and just go and make something else better, like an actual more of a game. But yeah, either way, it's fine. But I am hungry for more. And I want to know all the things that wasn't in that. Yeah, I totally agree. Also, I'm just looking at images of Journey. Journey was dope. I think I listened to the soundtrack. I think I did listen to the soundtrack for it because I couldn't turn it off because it was on PlayStation when I played it.
Just turn your speakers off.
Oh, I've done that. Yeah, I've done that before now. Yeah, as I said, most of the time I play Halo a lot with friends. Almost always forget to turn any sound on at all.
Wait, so not even like gun sounds, just no sound?
Yeah, just silent. Yeah, it's silent. Don't bother me. I've got eyes. It's got a radar. It's not. No one's going to sneak up on you in Halo. There's a red dot in the corner. Fucking do I need sound for? Hear footsteps. I don't give a shit. Yeah. No, I accept. This is one of those things. Much like the fact that I think quiche is the greatest food on earth. I accept that I am a minority here, and I'm census wrong. Like the rest of the world has decided that I'm wrong, but I still think soup is the best one. Yeah.
Well,
but can we? I know it's running long, but can we talk about my keyboard before we go?
Sure, we can do that. We'll do that and then we'll end it off.
I have
yes
historically used a Unicomp buckling spring keyboard, right? Which is, I believe, to be the best keyboard ever made, right? It's got some engineering issues, but it's astonishing. Yeah,
I think that's a pretty... I think a lot of people disagree with that one. That seems like a pretty fair... Yeah. The people that like the keyboards really like them.
Yeah. But with my new laptop lifestyle, and the fact that I use a Steam Deck and a PC and a laptop
Scissor Switch
a lot, right? And I was writing a lot, right? And I was writing on my laptop. So I bought the this is the MX Mechanical Logitech. It's called an MX Mechanical Tactile Illuminated. It's a wireless keyboard. It's a low profile mechanical keyboard that uses essentially, it's low profile mechanical keyboard. It's the weirdest thing, right? Yeah, it is. It has got a steel plate. It's rock solid. It's overpriced as fuck, right? It's like £160. It's so priced. The reason I bought this particular keyboard is because it's got 3 buttons, and I can have 3 separate profiles. So if I hit button 2, that's just my Steam Deck, right? And I've got a mouse with a button on, and I can just go click, click, and I'm on my Steam Deck. So if I turn my TV on, I go click, click, and I'm using my Steam Deck with a keyboard and mouse in desktop mode, which is brilliant, right? But with this laptop lifestyle I'm leading, I wanted kind of like a wire-free desk as well. So I went with this keyboard. This keyboard, really good, It's not as good as Unicomp, but
Mhm.
with my minimalist desk, with my little laptop on a pedestal and my little mouse, and my Unicomp looked fucking ludicrous. Like it just looks stupid. It looks like here's all this elegant stuff. Also, we've got a piece of 1970s there. If I had more space and more USB ports, I'd probably use it. But I use this keyboard via Bluetooth, and I've written probably 50,000 words on this keyboard now over the last few weeks. And this is a hard recommend if you don't mind the fact that it's a Logitech keyboard, because Logitech keyboards. But yeah, it's a great keyboard.
Is
It's
there a
got this
problem with
sense
Logitech
out.
keyboards?
Well, people say everything Logitech keyboards have like the letters rub off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or like the batteries. There's like people have strong feelings about Logitech keyboards. I think historically, lower end Logitech stuff has always been bad, but the higher range Logitech stuff has always been excellent in my experience. I mean, I'm using an MX3 mouse now, right? That's my mouse at the moment, is MX3.
G305 here, and I've also got a
Oh,
G600, which is under my speaker, so I can't pull it up.
Yeah, I've I did have it. My LGG Pro was the best mouse I've ever had, right? But the wheel was broken, so if I scrolled down, ever so often it'd scroll up. I was like, "Fuck," and it got really annoying. So I kind of wanted a mouse that was a bit more productivity focused. So I went with the MX Master 3, which is again because I was going for all Bluetooth because I don't want any wires. I just want to kind of have a clean desk. And yeah, so I went with that, and it's a really good mouse. So when I went the keyboard, I was like, oh, if I buy the Logitech keyboard, I can use the same software because the software works better. I was like, okay, so that kind of drove me towards it. And again, this is a Windows problem. Linux users will just use UDEV. I know that, right? But it's got this feature that I've never seen before, right? Never seen this feature before. The lights on the keyboard go off, right? And then they come back
lights
on.
Go off.
No. This is the bit. It comes on when your hand gets near the keyboard, right?
What?
So if I move my hands towards the keyboard, the lights fade on. I feel like a fucking wizard.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't think I can replicate it because I don't know how it works. I probably can't show you. If I just stay really still, I think it's sensing my hand though, to be honest. But like basically, all these lights go off, right? And I just put my hand there, and they come back on again, and it's fucking mental.
That's
I feel like a wizard. I'm gonna wait. Let's see if I don't think I can catch it on camera. But it's like it's the stupidest little thing, right? I'll just tap it a couple of times. But it's the stupidest thing that just makes you feel absolutely awesome. And it's basically a reason to recommend the keyboard. The problem is sometimes it's like, oh, you did a bit of typing, I'll stay on for ages, so not to distract you. And then like now I can't illustrate my point because the keyboard's decided that he wants to stay on. So I guess I can't illustrate it. But yeah, it's like what I like to do is just wave my hand over it like a wizard, and it just comes on. I'm like, oh yeah, and it just feels very cool. But yeah, hard recommend. It's a good keyboard if you can get past it being a Logitech keyboard. Because most people aren't writing novels on their Bluetooth keyboards. I would think that I will probably get more use out of it in the next 6 months than most people in its lifespan. So I'm going to do like a video 6 months in where I'm like, this is the fucking state of it. Because like my laptop keyboard, all of the keys have basically got this glow where I've taken the first layer of plastic off it. It's just this, and because it's backlit, like I really mean when I say they glow somewhat. So yeah, I'm pretty close to just having blank keys on my laptop. So I'll see if the same happens on this, and I'll give a 6 month review and be like, I'll be like 2 novels in. I'm like 275,000 words. This shit broken. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's my keyboard story. So there you go. It's not going off now. It just knows I'm typing. It does this.
Well,
pretty smart.
Actually, I don't know if you know what keyboard I have. I have a Casey Cherry Stream.
Oh, an actual Cherry keyboard.
Yeah, actual Cherry keyboard.
Oh, you don't see them a lot. Yeah, you don't see them a lot.
It is.
I don't like cherries. I'm like, and even though I'm using what is basically Cherry Red now, after using the Brooklyn Spring, I'm like,
these are
just buy a Brooklyn Spring.
Okay, this is a Cherry keyboard. It's not actually a mechanical keyboard. You've
got a non-mechanical Cherry keyboard.
It's a scissor switch keyboard. It's the same switch as you have on a laptop.
I used to think that. You know what? There was a point in time, up until probably about 6 months ago, where I would argue to bollocks that you need a mechanical keyboard, right? But as I said, when I did my rearranging, I just typed like 100,000 words on a laptop keyboard, and I've come to the conclusion that I don't give a shit. Like you just go, oh, that's nice, and you just go, oh, carry on. I prefer a mechanical, which is why I shelled out for this beast. I prefer a mechanical. but I don't know. I'm not convinced they're actually better past the like the tactility is nice, but I'm not sure it matters. And I
If
think
I'm
that
gonna
the
get a
more,
mechanical keyboard, I'm gonna get a low profile one like that.
yeah, it's nice. It feels like it's heavy and it kind of like, but yeah, like the keys, like it's so low profile, like the caps there and stuff.
One thing I can't go to with like regular mechanical keyboards is like the normal keyboard switches. They're just too high. Like it feels it. You have to bend your wrist. It's. I don't like it.
Oh, I'm gonna get
I know that
this.
you have your. Yeah, you have this giant
Look at
guy.
the difference. This thing, right? This is my
Yeah, this will
Unicom,
be good
right?
comparison actually.
Like this is I think this, even though I'm not using it now, I think this is the best keyboard ever made, right?
Mhm.
I genuinely believe that. I've typed a lot. This is the best feeling keystrokes on any keyboard I've ever had, but it doesn't really work for my setup because of space and stuff, right?
Sure.
But if you look at the size of this motherfucker, right? Yeah, right. And then just look at this. Oh fuck! I can't even shot. Look at this. Look at the fucking difference. It could eat it.
Yeah, you put it inside of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could literally put it inside. And again, I don't want anyone to think I'm not, because like this Unicom, best keyboard I have ever used. Like it is by far the best keyboard I've ever used. No doubt whatsoever. It is brilliant. But it just feels like the wrong keyboard for my current setup. It just feels kind of weird to use it. I might plug it in tonight actually and have a little flashback with it tonight. But yeah, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Like long term, I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to my Unicomp or stick with my elegant wireless. I'm really not sure. But if anyone's on the fence about Unicomp, if you like clicky, this is its daddy. Like this feels like pulling a trigger when you push a button. Like you feel like people dying when you type in. That's how it feels, you know. But weirdly, this little wireless I've got is probably the same weight as the Unicomp because it's got this massive steel plate on it. So it's like it's chunky. It's chunky. It's like highly recommend chunky, but yeah, but not quite the elegance and the monster that is the tank on my desk. So that's my keyboard story. We can finish now if you want.
Yeah, well, we're finished now, I guess. Well, let the people know where they can find you, where they can find your books, all that fun stuff.
Okay, so very quickly, HexDSL.com is where you'll find everything I do. You can find me as HexDSL on YouTube. I do not produce as much YouTube as I used to because I'm busy writing novels. And you only have so much creative juices. And like writing novel takes longer, but you get more output, right? So like, yeah. So I do make YouTube videos still. I do a minimum of a couple of videos a week, but that is no longer my focus because I'm focused on the writing. But HexDSL.com is where you'll find some ridiculous lore posts that won't make any sense if you haven't read the book. But on the sidebar, there are links to my books. Those links do take you to Amazon, but you can find my books on each now if you search for HexDSL. My 2 books I've actually published are on there, and they are available. If you want to read my books and you can't afford it or you don't want to give me money, send me an email. I don't mind sending you a PDF of it. That's fine. I'm happy enough to do that if people just want, don't want to roll the dice sort of thing. Or if you do read my books and you want to talk it out, you want to talk to me about it, you can get me on my own Discord, which is linked below every video basically. And there is a book club there, which is where we do all the talking about books and stuff. And if anyone cares, my current read is The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, which I'm 111 pages in, and so far it's excellent.
Yeah, it doesn't look very far.
It's not very far, but I mean that's like half of a regular book, though.
Yeah,
this book's like 1,000 pages. I don't know actually. I bought all 3 of these in print, right? And this is like 700 pages, and I'm like 110 in. But that's my which is why it's currently. I don't use bookmarks. I just leave it on the desk, which is really bad. No one wants my books after I'm done because they're just broken.
Well,
yeah, that's my current read.
If it works, it works, I guess.
I've got another one here as well. The other one I'm reading. I'm just like I'm an animal.
You don't listen to game music. You ruin your books. What do we do with you?
Well, you know what people. I know, but again, I'm going to go off on a small tangent here. But people who collect books, right? Fuck you. Don't collect books. Have books. If I buy a book, I read it, I love it, or I hate it, and I throw it across the room. Right? Yeah. And if I read it, it's going to be the worst state than the one I threw across the room. Because the one I threw across the room will just be picked up and put on the shelf. But the ones I read and love will be dog-eared and bent and out of shape because I love the words, which is one of the reasons I switched to Kindle. Yeah. But yeah, like don't collect books, collect stories and have books. That's the way to do it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, bye.
As for me, main channel, Brody Robertson, do Linux videos, Hex is eating a USB cable. I hope that's not plugged into anything.
How would it be plugged in? It's the end that you plug in. The other end's
Yeah,
on
I
the
thought you could
keyboard.
have had it like plugged into a phone or something.
I'm not an idiot. I am an idiot. That's probably fair, actually.
Anyway, gaming channel, Brody Robertson plays. Right now, I'm playing Slay the Spire and The World Ends With You. And as for the podcast, if you are listening to the audio version, the video version is available on YouTube at Tech Over Tea. And the audio, the if you want to listen to the audio version, you can find that anywhere: iTunes, Google Podcast. Look up Tech Over Tea. There's an RSS feed. Add it to your whatever you want to use, and should be good. Have a final word. What do you want to say, Hex?
Oh, my final word is bum. I'm a writer.
Sure. See you guys later.
Are we out?